Hey everybody, how are you guys doing? Um, I want to inform you guys regarding video number 38. I know I told you guys I was going to upload it last week. Um, but sorry, I'm currently looking for a very important footage I have in one of my hard drive. And I need this footage in the video because it it's very important information, and seeing is believing, and I truly believe it will help the viewers understand that there are phenomenons going on around us that just can't be seen with our naked eyes. And these things are happening right now. I always tell you guys that the gang stalkers are next to you. Well, if you look around, if you're by yourself, you look around, you're not going to see anything. You don't see no gang stalkers, but these gang stalkers are next to you, and you can't see it with your eyes, but in video you can. So this footage is very important, and once I find it, the video will come out. So give me a few more days. Um, so for now, if you would like to join in on this live stream, please click on the link. I will provide the link in the comment. And let's see, how do I comment? Post comment, okay. Okay, so for now, I want to answer some questions. So these are questions that were posted on my on the comment section of my videos. So 10 asked, oh well, sorry, 10 just made a statement. 10 made the statement how he or she doesn't dream, um, and when there is a dream, it doesn't make any sense and have no point at all. Um, well, that's okay because I have strange dreams. I've been having a lot of strange dreams lately. And recently, I'll tell you, when I do have those vivid dreams, I can tell you that the setting, the environment is Well, I don't know if you guys were actually listening to me talking about dreams. Um, I just realized I wasn't even part of this right now. Um, oh, raw data's in. Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Okay, let's do a radio check. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you fine. Wow, welcome to the stream. How you doing?
Okay, finally. Let me
Well, let me tell you, it's great to hear from you, and I I enjoy watching your videos. And, you know, I'm a subscriber to you. Oh wow, she got kicked out. I wonder what happened. Hmm. Okay, let's wait. Maybe she's gonna join back in. But I was talking about my dream. I don't know if you guys were listening. Um, shoot. But okay, you're back.
All right, so I had to shut off. This is my first time ever being live on YouTube, so you're gonna have to be nice to me, okay?
Oh,
Because
of course.
I had to shut off I don't know, whatever. It's working now because I had a double feed going. Now I don't. So it sounds
Oh,
good.
well, welcome and thank you for joining. And I was saying I subscribe to your channel and I watch your videos. I enjoy them very much, and it's great to have you.
Thanks. Yeah, this is my first time um being live. So thank you for that. I just you were talking about dreams and I saw you live and I finally got my microphone working and I got Wi-Fi connected. So um
Okay.
yeah,
So
I
did you
finally figured out the settings and everything. So I'm just playing with it and looking at it. And I heard you talking about dreams. So
did you
yeah,
hear when I was explaining about my dreams, or did it cut off?
well, yeah, I got a little cut off, but just we could, there's been a lot of people. So I've been talking to some people in Canada because of what's happening,
Uh-huh.
and they're having weird dreams since last week.
Okay.
So
Oh,
since they've been gathering in Canada, people have been having vivid dreams lately
oh
over
yeah,
there.
I believe it. What about you? Do you have any vivid dreams? How are your dreams? What are the setting like, the environment?
So I don't dream very often right now, but I did have a couple dreams last week, and I couldn't, yeah, there was one that was like some guy was pointing at me and he's like, I'm gonna sit here and watch you. And I'm like, okay. And he was pointing at me. Like that was weird. And then animals are always good. If you get animals in your dreams, that's really good.
Well, I was explaining I recently I got a dream with these really aggressive looking, hybrid looking rats, and they were biting on my legs.
Okay.
Um and I what I did was I pinched the back of the neck and kind of lifted up kind of like a kitten. You know what a mom would do with a kitten. And
So were they like a small dog or something or?
they were like full-size rats. They were big, but they had really aggressive look to them, and they were definitely a predator. They were charging at me, so
All
they were
right. So
attacking
you
me.
know about the rat problem. The rats are the size of dogs in New York, right?
No, like
Yeah.
a chihuahua sized dog.
Yeah. Yeah. They're very large and aggressive. So that is a real thing that could possibly happen. Your dream isn't far from truth, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I have deja vu. I had deja vu many times in my life, but I believe these dreams have a lot to do with, it's like a test, because my dreams been in situation where it's just completely dark, like a dark environment, and it's been like that for a long time, at least a year or so.
So when did you have the rat dream?
Last week.
Okay, so it is recent. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's probably gonna be significant because I had some priests dream of wild packs of killer dogs.
Really?
Yeah, it's almost similar. That's why I asked if it was a dog, because I had like 3 or 4 priests. They're like Baptist preachers,
Uh-huh.
and they're dreaming of the future, right? And they're dreaming of wild packs of dogs going around killing people.
Well, I I can tell you that based on my experience, these streams have something to do with the gang stalkers, well, which is spirits. I still call them gang stalkers because that's, I started the channel talking about gang
So
stalking,
I
but
and with gang stalking, for me, I've talked to such a different array of people that um that's just another way to perceive what's happening to all of us. But I have
exactly.
people that are perceiving it as tribulation, gang stalking, demonic, extraterrestrial. So there's several perceptions, and we have to accept that every single one of these perceptions is a spiritual experience at some point, you know?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Totally agree. It's spiritual experience. And I also believe it's a it, I well for me I believe they are aliens, a type of aliens.
Yeah, so other people see it as extraterrestrial or demonic or gang stalking. Some people are perceive it like a priest, like a real Catholic priest.
Uh-huh.
They'll ignore it. They ignore it because the thing is that they're always under attack their whole lives. So
Yes.
they ignore all attack, no matter what it looks like. They just
Hmm.
continue forward and go back to church or whatever.
And now,
So a lot of people are like perceiving it as extraterrestrial. A lot of people in the military are seeing aliens. My dad reported that he was abducted and a ship came to come and take him recently.
what?
And
Really?
he was in the military though. You have to understand military people perceive it as alien a lot. I've noticed. That's just a
Uh,
trend I've noticed because other military people are like, yeah, I'm seeing like aliens. You know
well,
what I'm saying?
speaking of which, okay, I you know the Bible, and
A
let me
little
ask
bit.
you
Not everyone's going to know everything, okay? Because I can't quote everything, you know.
exactly. Do you remember? Is there a part of the Bible mentioning when when the gods returned, there's going to be trumpets in the sky?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
there
So, Revelations, all the trumpets and the scrolls or vials, the vials and the trumpets. So, that's a god opening the trumpet.
okay? Now let me ask you. When I few years okay, this is like 6 years ago. Before I realized I was gang stalked and before I moved to this property, I like I mentioned in my videos, I would go to places strapped. I have my pistol with me all the time because I keep thinking something bad's gonna happen. Okay,
Yes, me too.
and
I keep thinking, no, we're all in the same situation.
and during that time, okay, I was really into all the conspiracy theories on YouTube, watching all those conspiracy videos.
That's
And
good
one
to
one
know. You need to know that stuff, though. That's good.
exactly. And one of the phenomenon I discovered, now this is a real phenomenon. This is not a conspiracy. It's if you look up YouTube, strange sounds in the sky, and it's happening all over the world. Okay, and people will be sitting outside drinking coffee, and all of a sudden the sky will have a strange trumpet sound, and this is a real phenomenon. So, are there any correlation with that?
Okay, the only thing, I mean, I could tell you, I don't know, without being weird, it's hard to talk about this stuff without sounding weird, right?
I
Or
know it does sound
taboo,
weird.
you know what I mean?
Yes,
I haven't heard anything like that or seen anything, or I haven't researched that very much. I could tell you my experience is that I've seen flashes in the sky.
like a quick flash, but no
Yeah,
light, no
but
lightning,
I
no
don't really
thunder.
hear anything, but I'll see a flash. But usually I get, yeah,
No, well,
yeah, well, the thing is, I don't know where to go with this because I can go
exactly.
several different directions with
But
this
here's
conversation.
it's fine. But then I just want you to, if you have time, just can you research strange sound in the sky on YouTube, and you should see a bunch of videos, people posting them. I myself have not experienced it in person, but I know sometimes at night, late at night here, I do hear some like eerie sounds in the sky, but not like a trumpet sound. But
I would. So what I would do is I would definitely pay attention to your cloud layer. What's above you? Like, when you get that weird thin layer of cloud.
yeah, which is not doesn't really look like clouds, huh?
It's a projection. You probably got a ship over you, an ET ship, and this is like
I believe
weird
that.
stuff to talk about right
I
now.
know it is weird because it's something that we're not used to, but I do understand what you're saying. I mean, sometimes I'll look up into the sky in what looks like clouds, but I know they're not clouds, and they're not really moving. Or
Yeah,
when they're
and
moving, they're
they have
really
to.
slow.
The thing is that you're the boss. So the entity that whatever is in the sky, whatever your experience, has to tell you that it is there. If it does not tell you it's present, it'll break a spiritual law. So when you're the boss here, right? You're the selected, chosen. So you in your consciousness, you don't even have to say anything. But if you want to see the entity will show itself to you.
When you say entity, you're talking about these the
Whatever
spirit.
however you perceive. I call it an entity because people have like 10 different perceptions. And
Okay,
I can't I can't call it gang stalking, I can't call it demonic, I can't call it ET, so I just call it some type of universal entity because I can't
exactly.
call it. Yeah, I don't know what else, because people are perceiving the same thing and they're using 10 different words.
Well, I mean, you should know watching my videos, I talk trash to my gang stalkers, so it has gotten to a point where the relationship is kind of like where I'm kind of ignoring them now. I don't really care to say the F you to them anymore, kind of because I notice when I ignore them, like they really get kind of irritated because they want
Yes.
me to.
Oh man. So check this out. I had 3 of them on me today because I've been in hermit. It's called a hermit mode, also known as a cocoon. And when you spiritually develop, like you are right now, you're making spiritual progress in your consciousness. So the entity's going to try to come at you to stop you from spiritually ascending. Gang
I have to.
stalking is a bottleneck, right?
I see. Would you explain when you say bottleneck? What do you mean by like you mean preventing one's ascension, like you mentioned? Hello.
I had to mute my mic for a second. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, there's a problem right now. So you're completely like scratchy. So hold on a
Scratch.
second. Hold on. Just
Okay.
hold on a second. Let me process what's happening. I can't hear you. You sound scratchy.
Okay. Oh,
Hold on. Don't hold on a second. Let me explain to you how I'm perceiving I cannot hear a word you're saying. You sound like nothing but scratch because there's a demonic entity attacking my phone.
I
So
I believe that.
yeah. So it doesn't want you talking, so you sound scratchy. So let me process this for a minute and then okay, now talk.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
okay.
now you're
So
clear. Was there something that you were doing or something? What you have on the phone? Did you set the phone down on something
yes,
or?
I did. I did set the
Okay.
phone down.
All right, hold on. So yeah, so that's just the thing. When we're experiencing this, it's like, oh crap, is there a demonic entity attacking my microphone, or did you just set the phone down?
I set the phone down, but I also know they like to attach the cell phones for the energy.
Yes, that's just the thing. But we as people, we have to discern. We got to discern what's happening and what's not happening, like, and when you, like, I don't know, you set the phone down and got all muffled.
Well, I have someone that wants to join in on the chat, Immaterial Man. So, are you okay with that?
Well, what are we talking about right now? What are we going to continue to talk about? Dreams? Do you guys want to talk about, I mean, where's the conversation kind of going here?
Well, I was just
What's
thinking
going
about
on?
a question and answer on gang stalking because
Okay.
I mean that's the topic. Hey, Immaterial Man, how are you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. Thank you for joining. Hey, this is the first time to have you join this live stream, so great to have you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, I've seen some of your videos before, man. Very interesting stuff, and I know a little raw data. She's left comments on my channel before. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to, we're both first timers on here. So thank you for getting us together as a group.
Oh, of course. I mean, I enjoy these type of conversations, and it's okay if you guys want to disagree on certain things. I mean, I'm all about just engage in conversation and talk through things.
Well, I like picking fights with people, but I like to try to stay positive as well. Like, immaterial man looks good in blue. I'm going to tell you that. That blue looks good. It's popping.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So immaterial man, how's your how are you doing with your gang stalking lately?
I've managed it. I know from some of your videos you see it a little differently, and I do agree with your perspective. I have a little bit of a different perspective, but I mean I'm managing like the way I see it. I feel like there's a lot going on with this. On one hand, there could be paid stalkers, or that's basically what a lot of people talk about. There's paid stalkers stalking them. But then I believe that there's some really big agenda of mind control, whether you want to call it MK Ultra or whatever. I've talked about the chemtrails before, and there's something that these chemtrails are doing to all of us. Um, so it's a lot going on here. It really is with what we call gang stalking.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it's okay if you don't, we don't have agreement on everything. I know
Of course,
my
of course.
my videos does not for everybody. And I'm making them based on my experience, and you're making your video based on your experience, and that's all good. But in the end, I agree with you though. There is a big agenda, there is mind control, and there's something happening that's bigger than what's on the surface.
Right,
Definitely.
right. Yeah, and there's a lot in common though. I'm finding a lot of people are experiencing patterns. It's a pattern. It's a repeat Groundhog Day. It's like so repetitive. The entity or universe, gang stalking, is constantly throwing the same stupid tactics at everybody. Very repetitive
Yes,
tactics.
I agree with you. And for me, I notice it's somewhat repetitive. It's gotten to a point where they're just trying to make me pissed off on a daily basis. And whenever they try to do stuff that irritates me, I just go turn on my demon whistles. I mean, that thing just it always shuts them up. I mean, have you guys okay, have you guys actually tried to make something like that, one of those whistles, or get an air blower? Because an air blower can really help.
No, I haven't. I haven't tried anything like that, but uh, like I do agree with the spiritual thing and the non-physical aspect of this, because spirits are real, whether you want to call them demons or disincarnate beings. There's different terms for it, but yeah, that aspect is true because I saw a shadow being standing over my mom while she was sleeping when I was like 7 or 8 years old. After I woke up from a deep sleep, and the
I had
thing
the
looked at
same
me and took off
experience.
into the kitchen, and I was just kind of like, what the hell was that? And since then I knew that there was, like, I was already kind of religious back then. I've gotten out of religion and all that, but I still kept the spiritual aspect of the knowing. Like, I just know there's a spiritual world. I've experienced it. I've had out of body experiences, so I know it's real. But then on the other hand, there's the physical aspect. Yes, and I heard you guys talking about the extraterrestrials and stuff, and I'm a big believer in that. I know that it's real, going all the way back to Roswell and all that. um yeah, there's different species of extraterrestrials. There's I'll just name a few, like Pleiadians, Arcturians. The reptilians are the most famous, I believe. I believe I've encountered a lot of them. There's some other ones like Andromedans, but definitely this stuff is real, and there's a big cover up by our government.
So yeah, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
All right, this is my first time going live, so you guys got to be nice to me. I had the same experience where a dark, cloaked entity was standing over my sister when I got up in the middle of the night. So I had the exact same experience.
Oh, wow.
Exact same. And when I talk to people getting gang stalked, they've all, like a lot of them, I'm not going to say they all, but a lot of them had near-death experiences or traumatic accidents as a child or car accidents or some type of trauma.
Okay. Now I can hear some spirits making the echo, because I believe these echoes are caused by the spirit. They're just mocking us. I don't know who's
All right,
uh,
can you hear me now? Okay, am I echoing?
no, not
I can
anymore.
try. Here, let me turn off my mic and see if it helps.
Now
Radio
well, my experience here, living here, I've seen the ghost in white, a half body looks like a white lady ghost. Seen it 4 or
radio
5
check.
times. What's
Sorry.
that?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I
And
had
also,
to.
and I also seen the shadow people many times on this property. Um, I have also seen a white grayish ghost turn black. Okay, turns dark. So makes me think: are they the same? Like, are they shadow people? And the ghost in white, are they the same? Because I've seen that before. From white turn to black, and black turn back to white. Um, are they the same type of spirits?
All right, I'll give my opinion real quick. Okay, so basically the shadow people, like we see them as shadows, but I think that's just one aspect of it. Like a spirit can show up and look like anything, a non-physical being. They're just like kind of between realms. Like when you see them like that as shadow beings or however you see them, because some people see beings of light, but they're just in between realms. Like they're kind of here, but they're kind of in like the lower astral realm or whatever other realm they might be in and out of. So that's kind of how it goes. They can show up looking like however, but I do think partially it has to do with the color, has to do with like what vibe they're on, the vibration of their energy. Like if they're on a lower level of consciousness or energy, then they're going to show up kind of darker energy. That could be part of it.
Okay. Now I've seen a lot of these different colors in orbs. So and with orbs, like here on my property, there are lots and lots of orbs. Uh, on my CCTV, like in the middle of the night, I would see a swarm of them flying towards the camera. But based on my research, some TIs out there believe that's direct energy weapon. Okay, because they have it at their property, but then it's just not as much. But here where I live, I'm talking about millions of them just flying around, these orbs super fast flying around. And when I go indoor, they move a lot slower. But one time I asked these orbs to go left, right, and they were actually doing that for me for the camera. So I have that footage, and I think I should upload that so you guys can see it. But it tells me that these things have intelligence. What do you think?
Well, so I have some questions here. Does your orb experience happen mostly when you're alone? Are you mostly alone on that property?
Me? No, I got my wife, my kids.
Right. So you're not alone, because I know that like the entity, sorry, I don't know what else to call it. Entities will like to attack while you're alone. During like, I don't know, you can watch like Hollywood, scary movies, but the entity wants to attack each person while each person is alone. Sometimes. And I was just asking, from my research, it's just one of those common things.
Yeah, so, they do want me to be alone, because when I am alone, the way they behave are different than when I have people around. But I also know now, I can tell the difference. Now I can tell that when they're actually on my wife, messing with her, because I notice her facial her face. I can tell after a while, it's like they're draining her essence, her breath, her energy. So after a while, like I noticed her eyes would get a little more drowsy looking, and 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 that's when I would walk over to her and kind of like brush my hands above her head, and I would feel a heavy resistance right above her head, and I'll just swing my hand up for a little bit, and then it'll get lighter and lighter and lighter. But I can tell now when that heavy energy is on a person, I can tell their facial expression is changes.
All
Like,
right. So my next question is that you talk about, using different tools, like putting your hand, whatever, making some type of hand gesture. You talked about using a leaf blower. I've heard you talk about, I don't know what other, but you talk about doing something physical and to combat what you're experiencing.
yes,
Is that
because
right? Okay, so that's a yes. So my next thing is, hold on. As a spiritual, researcher, the spiritualists always have to do something physical to perform an exorcism. So the exorcist always has to use words, hand gestures, sage, or holy water. So see what I'm saying? There always has to be something physical. It doesn't matter what it is. If you use a leaf blower or you use feathers as a ritual, it's still a ritual and it will still work because it's your consciousness, and your consciousness is putting action towards something. Does that make sense? So no matter if I even had a leaf blower or a stick, it almost might even have the same effect, but it's your mind that holds the power.
yes, I agree. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was agreeing. I was just yeah.
Because okay, my experience is these things are in the physical world, and I know they are clinging on to me, and I know it's always usually behind me because when I'm planting a tree, I notice they would grab onto my lower back and make it extra, like, I would feel extra sensation. And when I start hitting my lower back, kind of tapping on it, it goes away. So it stuff like this would happen. It took me over a year to finally realize, okay, so there's things I can do to kind of protect myself and also battle it.
Check this out. An example for me, I do different stuff. I don't do that, but so I do different things. Like when I got an entity, I don't know what to call it, but when I got attacked, whatever, if I feel like I'm under attack, I'll get in the shower in the middle of the day and I'll rub Epsom salt. It's salt, and I'll take a salt shower to clear my energy.
Oh, I agree. Actually, one thing, water
or something.
Yes, like, they don't like water.
Yeah, they hate the cleansing. It's like a cleansing or something. They hate like the entity, or I don't know what to call it. Whatever. Yeah, you always have to clear your energy.
And that's why I also recommend getting a spray bottle, because a spray bottle with mist, you spray mist.
Yes, I have little bottles of water. It's holy water. It's the same concept.
Yes. So they don't like water. Water is good. And I saw in the video, I have the video, I will try to incorporate that one of these days, but it's a lady, like I mentioned before, a lady was at the beach. She was doing a video, a vlog, and most of her body's in water, and she only got her hand out with her arms, holding the camera, and it was windy outside, and that's when I noticed this ghost was blown off of her, and I saw this ghost shaped like a person, kind of breaking apart, like dissolving, and it just flew away. It got blown away by the wind, and so it made me realize that, okay, so since her body is in water, that means it can only cling on to whatever is above water, which is her hand holding the camera, the camera. So that's less surface area for the spirit to grab onto, because I believe here on land, this spirit is literally all over my body. It's anchoring my entire body, so it's hard to get rid of it. But if my body's in water, then it can't grab onto that area. It can only grab onto areas that's above water. So it's less surface area for it. And if there's a lot of wind, that will help me, because I believe I need the help of Mother Nature to get rid of these things. And by having strong wind, it's going to help do the work for me, because otherwise I need an air blower, right? So if it's strong wind outside, I don't need the air blower no more, and this wind's going to do the work for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there is a quote in the Bible about, I don't know where it's at, but about breath, using your breath, like the wind, like you blow. Exorcist will blow on somebody that's possessed and the person will flip out. It's almost the same concept. Yeah, there is something to that. Yes, there is something to that. But I have a question for Immaterial Man, because we were talking about dreams, and people since the last week or two, people been having weird dreams, vivid dreams, and I'm wondering what kind of dreams, or if you're dreaming of animals, or like what your dream experience is.
Here recently and lately, my dreams are really random. I can't really put my finger on what exactly I dream the most, because they're really just random here lately. I've had dreams of everything from having a girlfriend to multiple girlfriends, to being kidnapped and held against my will by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's a movie star. So some of my dreams are kind of weird. I don't know. They're random and weird here lately. Sometimes I don't dream at all. I'll have like long periods where I don't dream anything.
But it's been recent, right? Is it like the last 2 weeks? Like the weird, like I've been dreaming more the last 2 weeks, and other people are reporting on dreaming a lot more this last couple weeks.
Yeah, I think the dream where I was held against my will was like a couple weeks ago. So
And
yeah,
it was
that was
very real, right? Like you were really panicking, your heart rate was real. You might have even woke up in a sweat.
I can't remember if I woke up in a sweat or if my heart was racing, but it was definitely very real. The whole being kidnapped, and then I got away, and then I, thought I was away, and then the guy found me again. I don't know if you guys know who Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is. He's like a movie star. He used to be a wrestler, but a very famous guy. But it was just weird to see him like kidnapping me, and then he came for me with dogs and shit. And so I'm just like, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I know some of
I'm sorry. Did he have wild packs of dogs, like a wild pack of dogs with him?
I think like a couple of them were bloodhounds, a couple were German shepherds.
Yeah, so people are reporting of dreaming of wild packs of killer dogs, and then yeah, it's just been, everyone's having like similar experiences. I just find that phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. It just tripped me out, the fact that I was being kidnapped by him. I didn't know what that meant, because every dream that you have, there's a deeper like subconscious meaning to it. Like part of it does have to do with real life, and part of it has to do with like what's going on inside you.
Okay, so what is your favorite movie by him? Because I know he has a movie, Walking Tall. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a dope movie.
Yeah.
And Race to Witch Mountain, that was a good one too.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that one.
I like The Rundown.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah.
And the Scorpion King, yeah, he was
Oh,
good.
that's a good one. I used to watch. I can watch that over and over again. Scorpion King. Yes.
Yeah, he was good in wrestling too. Like wrestling's kind of fake. It's just like entertainment fighting, but he was good at it, and he portrayed his character really well in wrestling.
I used to watch him with the People's Elbow.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I went through that phase of watching him for a bit, but that was back then. Cable and all these streaming services was not even available. Well, there was cable, there was satellites, but no streaming. The option wasn't as much as back in the days. So yeah, I was watching WWE here and there.
The pay-per-views were ridiculously priced back then. It was like $60-$70 per pay-per-view for any pay-per-view. I'm like, geez.
Yeah, that's true. So I have to bring up something. I noticed for a while you were making videos with Conspiracy Underground, or about Conspiracy Underground. What's the deal with that? Is everything cool now with you and him?
I got asked this question a couple times recently, so I'll just address it real quick. But the issue was, yes, we were cool for a while actually, and just to make a long story short, he perceived some things that I said in a couple of videos of mine. Well, actually, in one video, and then the other thing he perceived wrong was a comment I left, and so basically he thought that I was sneak dissing him, you know, in some elaborate way to diss him. And he was wrong. He took what I said in the video and on the comment wrong. And then he made a video about me sneak dissing him, and I didn't say anything about it. I let it go. You know, for like the following 6 weeks, I didn't say nothing about it. And then he started sneak dissing me. Like he started making videos, basically making like poking fun of the tactics that I talk about, like, you know, oh ha ha ha. He said something about the flashing hazard lights that I see because like during my gang stalking so far, I've seen that a lot. Um, and he made fun of that, and it was something else that he made fun of that he sneaked this me on. Oh, I made a video of Semi Lee Williams, this guy that ended up stabbing this 14-year-old boy. And before he did it, he was making videos about being gang stalked and having energy weapons used on him and stuff. And you know, I don't condone that behavior. That's not cool what he did, but it's understandable. Like if he truly believed he was being gang stalked and experiencing the gang stalking, because he's not the only one that has shot someone. Like there's a list of other people. Or I mean, well, he stabbed the guy, but he stabbed the boy. But there's other people that shot people. You know, like there's Gavin Long. He shot the police because he thought he was being gang stalked. He believed it. And you know, I believed what he was saying too. There was Aaron Alexis. He shot a bunch of people with a shotgun. There was Myron May. He shot a bunch of people. So yeah, you know, it's not the first time somebody went off the rails. But he basically, Conspiracy Underground basically sneak dissed me about my Semi Lee Williams videos because I guess he had some issue with me. He seemed to think that I was comparing him to a child killer or whatever. I don't know where he got that from. And so between that and him making his diss video on me about the hazard lights thing, like I knew he was taking a shot at me. He did it in a sneaky manner, but because he didn't mention my name, but he mentioned the topics I was talking about, so he thought he was slick, and it just kind of irritated me. So I made a few videos about him, dissing him back. So that's basically how that started. He made a few more videos about me, then I ended it with my few videos. Since then, I kind of dropped the beef, and he hasn't been making any videos lately. So that's kind of where that went, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he made some video talking about me as well. But for me, I know it's not his fault. He's got some really bad spirits, gang stalkers on him, and I know and they've been telling him a lot of things, and right now he's going through a phase where I hope he can come out of it, which is he needs to recognize that a lot of these anger and the way he views reality with people, it's he's hearing these lower voices skull, and what these voices will do is it'll play the devil's advocate, and in his situation it's just turning information into the most negative, and using it as a form of fear to make him believe that oh, those information are there to against him. um and that's why I know it's his gang stalker that's doing it, and that's why I made a few rebuttal video talking trash to his gang stalkers, and even though they're using him to I would say a lot of his video is just really stirring things up, a lot of
Right.
hateful messages. But I also know it's not his intentions. It's his gang stalkers telling him, because inside his mind he truly do believe those things. Like even though we disagree, and we weren't uh picking on him, but his gang stalkers are the one that made him believe that we are picking on him, and or dissing him, right? So inside his
Yeah.
mind he truly do believe what he knows, it's the truth.
And
And
Well,
he
yeah.
relationships, the relationship, no matter what relationship it is, it needs to add value. So even if we're talking, are we adding value to each other? even as a friendship, mother-father relationship. I completely cut off my mom because every time I talked to her, there was no growth. There was no value. We didn't collaborate as a like-minded group of people. That's just the thing. Are you guys getting value from each other? In any of your relationships, we got to ask ourselves, what am I gaining and what am I giving? What give and take is happening in the relationship? Because if it's not there to empower you, encourage you, or educate you, then it needs to get out of your life.
That's true. I agree with that. And it took me some bump in my head several times in different situations to realize, you know, I shouldn't have been hanging out with certain people, you know, because it wasn't adding any value to me. And I don't think I was adding any value to them. But that was when I was really younger and you know, so it just kind of happened. But I definitely agree with what you're saying.
Uh, for me, I notice there are arguments, you know, in my family sometimes with my wife, but at the same time, I also know some of these arguments are created by the gang stalkers, and I know the spirits that's on me, they can also mess with her because just because we're in the same environment. And the way I see it is, there were times where just, you know, these disagreement made me feel like it gotten so heated. It made me feel like, okay, is it worth it? You know. But then once I calm down, I realize, well, I know what's happening, but she doesn't. So in a ways, I have more of a responsibility to 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 be the one that's need to help change the situation. We, you know, maybe requires me toning it down a little bit when talking to her or having disagreement, but or just try to figure out a way to resolve these problems, because for her, she doesn't really believe in this stuff because she's not going through it, but I already know these spirits are messing with her just because they're clinging on to me. So I it's I can't just like give up on her, you know, on over little, you know, just because of disagreement. Like that's how I see it.
Oh
Let's
no,
see, I
I'm
wanted
not
to add
saying
something
I'm
too.
not saying a disagreement is, you can disagree. A lot of people disagree with me. I have like taboo outer space perceptions sometimes. So I don't, everyone, a lot of people, call me crazy or disagree. But are you growing with each other? Are you building something together? Because sometimes when we're disagreeing, we're actually like collaborating on a solution or trying to build a better life for ourselves and the people around us in some way. And I don't know, disagreeing. I mean, you guys should at least have the same like belief structure. Like, I don't want people around me who are like, I don't believe in this and I don't believe in that. And if they don't believe in the same thing as me, why are you even, I mean, if we don't have anything in common, why are we even in each other's energy field?
That's true.
Well, for
I wanted
me,
to I
oh,
wanted
go
to
ahead.
add
Sorry.
what you said about the spirits, Seventh Hanuman. Um, See, like here's the thing. Like I believe that, well, I know actually, because I mean, you know, the spirit world is real, so it's more than a belief. But um, see, like we talk about gang stalking in the physical manner, but there could be a non-physical side to gang stalking as well. Because I've listened to other people talk about more spiritual stuff and how like some people can die. Like there've been people that have died in past lives and they're still like lingering around, coming in and out of the earth realm, messing with people and messing with people that they, you know, were related to in a past life, in a family tree, and, you know, another life. um and when it comes to spirits messing with you, like, you know, have you ever heard of generational curses? Like that's what some people call it. But
Yes.
like part of the spiritual aspect of like entities messing with you could be people from another life that they never fully returned to the light, so they're still, you know what I'm saying, mad about whatever happened in a past life. They could be messing with you, you know, or it could be just some entities that you know are just getting a kick out of messing with you. It could be like a mixture of things, but I do believe like a person could be stalked by entities, you know, and on top of, you know, the physical aspect of gang stalking. I do believe that.
Well, I believe that we all have spirits following us. Some just got more than others, but you're right about the generational part, because one of my spirits actually tells me that it's been following me since my homeland, because I was born in China and I immigrated here at a young age, but then the spirit tells me that it's been with me since China. So and and then there's also spirits here on this new property I moved to. So it's like, and I do believe that generational part. And yes, I do believe if a family is staying in a place that's more have a lot of bully demons, demonic spirits, and the father, the mother, the kids, grandkids, they all live on the same property. I do believe every single generation they're getting attacked because the spirits on the property is no good. And
Yeah.
I believe to a certain point, let's say like us, right, we're TIs or we can hear them, then that means it's like we're like jackpots to them, and some of them will actually follow us everywhere we go.
And you never know like how far back some of these entities lives go. Like you could have lived a life with like say two of the entities that are stalking you and harassing you now. You guys either could have been brothers or sisters in a past life, or cousins or friends, and something went wrong and something bad happened between you guys, and now here you are in a new life, but they haven't fully moved on from that. Like it could go many different ways, you know, between the real world, the non-physical world. Well, I consider the non-physical world more real than this. Everybody who has a near-death experience and goes to the other side and comes back, they'll say the same thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
man.
this planet is something that we got to experience. Other planets or other areas of soul travel are not like this planet, but there's other concepts, like when you guys talk about spirits or demonic entities, good or bad, because some of them can be. I've interacted with positives too, but it's some people. It's easy for them to think of it as a collective. So there is no one thought. It's all one thought. Everyone has the same consciousness. So what I'm saying, so that's where you get a lot of the telepathy and the mind reading. But sometimes I find you to do a chart or something, but it's all the souls, dead or alive, all share one consciousness, which is a thought. So you don't need to live, I don't need to live your life to read your mind or something like that, because I'm pulling it out of, we all share, it's like everyone shares the same brain in the universe. I'm talking the ETs to the demonic to everything living, everything dead. The whole thing shares one collective consciousness. And that's how we're able to access these entities. It's just a
Yeah.
concept.
No, I've heard of the one consciousness before. I've done that's awesome that you mentioned that. Yeah, for years I've been just reading stories and listening to other people about how we're all one consciousness. There's actually a book called the Kabbalion. It's the book of the seven hermetic principles. And in that book, it says what they call God or spirit is called the all. And what the all is infinite living mind. And so basically, it's talking about a mind that's infinite, that has no bounds and has no beginning or end. So yeah, it's basically mind, consciousness, yeah, same thing. It's basically saying the same thing.
I also believe in one consciousness, and because you have to ask yourself, okay, so the spirits, where are they getting their ideas from? It's like our ideas, like right now we're talking, through discussion we can generate ideas, but when we're sitting there with no one to talk to, where does these ideas come from? Because scientifically, I guess they don't know where ideas come from, or how ideas or or sparked or generated in our minds. And I believe these ideas have to come from conversation, like we're talking right now. But if I'm sitting there by myself, I'm not having conversation with anyone, right? that's not true because
Negative. Yes, you're talking to a god. When you're
yeah,
most alone, that is when you're with some type of higher entity, because you have to look at yourself in the mirror when you're alone. That's why the narcissist can't be alone. They jump from partner to partner to partner, using and abusing like a vampire.
yes, and I was gonna say yes. I do believe, like I said, spirits are with everybody, and even when we're sitting there, we're listening to these spirits, and like that phrase. Oh, an idea pop into my mind. You know that phrase? That's exactly what it means. How do these ideas pop into your head? Well, it's from another source, from somewhere.
Right. So engineers, let's talk about some engineering like the television, electricity, the radio was invented because somebody sat there alone in a room and thought and thought and thought. They didn't have people around when they created. When you create engineering, aviation, auto, anything, it all happens when the engineer's alone. That's when they do all their thinking, when they can clear their mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And then you think about people like Einstein or uh God, what was that guy's name who caught lightning in a bottle or whatever and put it in the light bulb? Thomas Edison, was that his name? You think about people like him and Einstein, you know what I'm saying? It's like to be able to do what Einstein did with relativity, do the math with that and what Thomas Edison did and other great inventors. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to plug into the infinite, you know, and to one degree, you know what I'm saying? So their minds were like on, you know, that edge of that, you know, that infinite abyss, you know, and they were able to pull creation out of that infinite abyss, you know?
Yeah, I believe that those inventors were actually helped by another source, and I always believe TIs are, you know, us true TIs are special people because we were selected. I do believe we were selected, and these spirits there's spirits and there's, you know, older spirits, and the more powerful older spirits they can do a lot more things. Okay, and I believe we are selected by these older spirits, and all of us, you know, because we have a certain ability. Well, one is we can hear them, and for whatever reason, you know, like whatever agenda they have for us, um, there's a purpose behind it.
Well, see, also, now I truly know this, like, because I've just experienced this, so this is beyond belief. I do know that there is a physical gang stalking going on. I do believe that there are paid stalkers, you know. Now, I have listened to some of your videos, and I know that you said you don't believe that there are actual, like, you know, people stalking and getting paid. I do believe that there are paid stalkers. On another hand, I do believe that there's some type of technology that's being used to mind control everybody, including the people getting paid to doing the stalking. So it's like a twofold thing. You know, this technology that's being used on TIs is being used on basically everybody, but you could say more on the TIs than other people. But and the
Okay,
reason why I
so
say
hold on a second. Are you saying there's, to me, what I hear you saying is that there's two different realms or two different dimensions. You're seeing a physical, then you're experiencing an emotional experience, and then you experience something alone. These are like dimensions, right? Like perceptions.
well, yeah, you could break it down like yeah, they're like the non-physical, physical. But what I'm saying right now in the physical, yeah, right now I'm talking physical. Like I do believe there are real people being paid by, you know, the government or the elites or whoever they're being paid by to
Hold on a
harass
second. Hold on a
them.
second. You're saying they're getting paid, but then you're saying it's spiritual. So it's both.
It's both. Yeah.
So we're we're raising our consciousness or awareness of some thing attacking us, getting paid. Correct?
Well, no, like when it comes to the spirits that are messing with us, like of course the spirits aren't getting paid. That'd be ridiculous.
No,
But
but but the physical, they're getting paid, but in the spiritual, it's like vampiric, maybe.
yeah, or tied to like a past life or something like that. Yeah.
Oh well, keep talking. I just want to get stuff. I want to be on your I want to be in your lane. You know, I want to be on your level. So I'm trying to relate to the
Well,
conversation.
okay, well,
Well,
I
I'm nothing special. These are just things I've pondered and put together in my mind.
You have no
That
idea
happens
how much
to us.
power you have, especially with writing. When you put energy into something with your
so
words and your feelings, like you can't have sex with somebody. You can't. Not if you're going through a spiritual experience, because sex would have to be a spiritual experience. But with some people, it's not. It's physical. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. So oh, sorry. So I
Oh, I
was
was just
gonna
gonna say, yeah, sometimes you like it depends. I've had that spiritual experience with a lover before, so I know what you mean. And then I've had moments where it was just more lust, and just like ooh la la, type of thing.
Exactly. Where you relate to somebody on multi dimensions or
Yeah.
perceptions.
But then it was the biggest disappointment when it didn't work out because you feel all that great connection and then you're like, oh shit, it still didn't work out. Oh well.
Okay, so you are love. You are whatever that is. You carry it with you. You don't need that person. You have it with you all the time. So whatever
Yeah.
that feeling is, you're carrying it around. You don't need that particular person to experience anything here. It's all about you. You're carrying it within yourself.
Yeah, within my soul. I completely understand that. And I
So hold
have
on a second. So if me and you had sex, it would be that same spiritual experience. So you can have the same experience with other people
I
as much
mean,
as you want, because you
you never
carry the
know.
experience. You're the one who carries it. You see what I'm saying? Does that? It's kind of
Yeah. No, I believe in all of our souls we carry love. And there are a lot of near-death experiences from other people that, when they went to the other side, when they went to the light and all that, whatever you want to call the light. Some people call it God, some people call it the source. There's different names people use for it. Some people see different things when they get there, but the main thing that they all see and feel is this infinite love. So yes, that is true. Love is at the heart of everything. But the thing is, and I want to say, but there's a big but on that, is when we're down here, the way that the world is and the fear mongering that you see on TV and just the ego that people get caught up in down here, it's a huge distraction from trying to plug into that love. And then on top of, if you're not, able to do things with your life that you want to because of financial issues and all that, a lot of things like add up to be big distractions, for plugging into that. But yeah.
all right. So the system you're talking about, the trap or the money trap, and the indoctrination in the school system is a failed system. Other planets don't operate that. Even in your dreams or when you soul travel, there is no government, right?
Oh yeah, when you get out of body, yeah, I don't believe there's any government. There could be governments on other
No,
planets.
this planet, we have to experience this weird physical thing with money and sex and food and this weird beast from the earth. We have to experience this. We need to. We need to know what addiction is. We need to be addicted and then break our addictions, because we
Yeah,
got to experience here. We got to experience shit as much as possible. It's kind of my attitude right now, anyways.
yeah. I believe for whatever reason, we may not be able to come up with a human reason, as to, oh, what's the greatest reason why we're all here. But there is a greater reason. I do believe it's experience. But yeah, like trying to plug into that love that everything comes from. Like I was just thinking
Yeah,
about
what
this.
do you want to do? Do you want to sit on a bench with a girl in the park? Like, how do you imagine meeting your girl at the coffee shop, or I don't know. Like, what is like, do you fantasize about like just meeting somebody somewhere and like on a walk somewhere, or what do you vision?
Sometimes I've done that. Right now I'm single. I've been single for a little while and I'm trying to stay
Because
single.
you can't be with somebody when you're spiritually growing, because you're with God when you're most alone. When people get in your energy field, you have to integrate, and um, you can't trust anybody. That's my thing. And I smoke weed too, so it stinks and it keeps most men away. That's my thing. Sometimes it's unattractive when women smoke marijuana because the stench.
No, I used to smoke. I haven't smoked in a little over 2.5 years. I stopped for personal reasons, but yeah, I used to smoke daily, so I understand that.
Well, immaterial man. Sorry, I have to get back to your question. Or your statement about paid gang stalkers.
Hmm.
Um, now, if you watch my videos, you know that I don't believe in that, and I, just my opinion, I know there are no paid gang stalkers. But people out in public are mind controlled and manipulated by these gang stalkers, and that's what a lot of the synchronization happens. Where you know, I I have discovered this. What they do is they'll tell me beforehand. A voice would pop into my head. This is my experience, telling me, "Oh, to look that way," or telling me, that person, there's a person over there. Um, it will make me look or turn my head towards a
Look at the
direction.
888s. Look at the 888s. Look at the 444s. Look at the 555s, the 666,
Exactly. 1111, right?
1111.
I was
And
getting
see
the
now, you want
1111.
that. You want to see 1111s and 44s. You
That's
do. It's part of
that's
the
what I was
rapture.
getting. Yeah, that's what I was getting in the beginning, of during that few years before I moved here. I would see on the clock, anything that's digital, or see it on someone's comment post, the timestamp, online. But mostly just looking at the clock, or turning, checking the time on my cell phone at 11:11. Now, at first, I researched that, and it's one of those, angelic, or spiritual type of awakening, seeing those numbers a lot. And now I got into the point where I realized it comes from these
It's a spirit snatching.
telling me
They're
that.
spirit snatching. Do you know what a spirit snatching is? It's when they're extracting your soul and then making your body look at things. So an entity, extraterrestrial, is coming in, housing your soul, and making you look at 1111, making you go to the store when the cops are at the store, making you see that person wearing red shoes, red hat, whatever. It's
Exactly.
making you do it because you're getting raptured on by an entity because it's a harvest judgment.
And it knows your fear every time it. That's why, you have a lot of fear build up for the red color. Every time you go out, they're gonna make a mention of it, and each time you hear it from them, or you look over and you see it, it's gonna change your mood. It's gonna change your state of mind, and and it is like a test, a form of a test. That's why I say it's very important to have no fear mentality, because when you have no fear, I would look over, I'll see a car, a certain color. I wouldn't let that penetrate my own mind, my own spirit, because each time you're letting it in, you're letting them stab you. You're letting them stab your spirit a little bit.
So this is spiritual warfare, though. This is what spiritual warfare is like.
Exactly. And they have so many ways of messing with a person. What we're going through, it's like we're being put on an advanced test than the majority of the masses, because they don't even know about these entities being there manipulating their lives. But us TIs, like, we're experiencing it, on
Okay,
another level.
well, your pre-tribs, they'll come along later. They'll figure it out. You're going to have to teach a lot of people what you know.
I agree on that one. Yes, we're like teachers.
Yes.
But I also have to say, not all TI makes it. And it's also a responsibility to help TIs that, are in the dark.
So are you guys going to create, that's why I asked some other guy. I'm like, why don't, if you guys are such, I can't even, like, I'm getting frustrated right now. I'm going to say some shit. I'm going to say some shit live. Are we live? Yeah. This is like, I'm going to start talking shit because I had the same situation happen where I'm like, why haven't you started a training program? And he's like, well, I do my YouTube channel. I'm like, no, you need a training program. Straight up training people like Neo in the Matrix. I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
That's a good analogy.
It's just what it is. The black cat crossings, got another cat. Yeah, these cats it's shamanism. You can see it, you can perceive it in different ways, but I don't like Hollywood. I don't like using Matrix stuff. I stay away from using movies as examples. I don't want to associate myself with Hollywood. I rather associate myself with something that Jesus had said.
But I agree. You know, a lot of this
I
Hollywood
just
stuff.
wanted to,
Oh, sorry.
sorry,
But
I mean,
I want to go back to immaterial man. So what do you think of what I said earlier about the paid gang stalker? Because for me, it seems I want to help you because I know I watch your video and you're one of the more advanced TIs out there, and all you needed right now is just a little bit of information. Because I come to a realization that one little piece of information opens the door to solve so many other questions I had in the past. And that's what's been happening to me. And I know this is one of the area that's blocking you from elevating to the next level, which is you still believe you right now you're in doubt. Were you not sure? You know, you like you said, just spirits, real people. So you're kind of like being you're about to break out of it, and I want to help you in this live stream. So what do you think of what I said about there's no paid gang stalkers, and if you disagree, that's fine. But I also want to know how you're so sure there are paid gang stalkers because you need some, really strong uh evidence for your own self, just for your own self, not for me, like for your own self, to convince you that it is. So are you absolutely sure you got all the evidence to convince your own self that there are paid gang stalkers? And I believe the answer is no, because if you do believe it, then you would say there's no spirit. There's spirit, but there's definitely for sure real paid gang stalkers. So in your own mind, are you 100% convinced yourself? Just be honest and truthful with yourself. Like, yes, you believe it, that there are paid gang stalkers.
well, to be 100% honest, just to answer this question real quick, I'm gonna go with yes, but I do want to say a few extra things. Um, you mentioned something about the 777, 888, and 1010, 1111. Like I've seen those numbers too. I did some research behind them, and some of it could be like some people call them angel numbers that have messages from the universe for you. So yeah, I've experienced that phenomenon. I'm not quite sure if it's 100% angels, but I look at things as more messages from the universe or from the infinite. I don't really use terms as angels or God. Like I tried to get out of all that religious sounding.
Well, numbers,
I don't, I don't,
Jesus.
I don't knock it for anybody else. But to further go into the paid stalkers thing. So yes, I do. I'm gonna say it's beyond belief. Like I know some people are being paid. There was a guy that confirmed it on his videos, and then so it was kind of two videos. One video, I'm not sure if it's like 100% real, if it's just a fictional story, but it had to do with a guy who got hired as a gang stalker, and he was going around and doing the different tactics that you'll see targeted individuals or people who consider themselves to be that talk about. And he was going around doing all that, like making noise and driving by at certain times and all that stuff, street theater, stuff like that. And basically, at the end of the story, he found out that he was working for an AI system that was created by other people. He didn't get into the details of who created it. You could say the government or whatever, but like there were certain supercomputers, and this AI system was one that was operating this gang stalking program that he got hired for. So there's that story, and then there is also a guy I was watching on YouTube. His name is his YouTube channel name is Applied Consciousness, and basically he said that he was being gang stalked, and then for the longest time his wife didn't see it, his kids didn't see it, then eventually his wife started to see it and his kids and all that. And then basically he was going around like recording everything and trying to get everything on camera that he was seeing. And then he was another guy like us that believes in the universe and stuff like that. He was a spiritual guy, and he used to be religious kind of like me, and then kind of got out of it and was kind of more just spiritual. And he had some spiritual experiences with the universe, and it was like his higher self or whatever you want to call it told him to stop recording and to just treat everybody as a decent human being with love. you know. So his higher self, which we were just talking about, you know, love is the core of everything, told him to do this. So he started doing it, and he kept experiencing the gang stalking, but he just went out of his way to treat people like decent human beings and show love. And he did this for like the last year or longer of his gang stalking. And then eventually, several people came to him and apologized for gang stalking him. Now, he said this with his own words, and he seems like a truthful guy who wouldn't lie about this. His videos are on YouTube still for the world to see, but he said that several people came to him, like a couple times it was some neighbors where he was living, another time it was some other guy, but they apologized to him for gang stalking him. And then he said that he hired one of the guys who apologized for gang stalking him, and because he owns like a some type of company. I think it's a trash company or something like that. And but he hired one of them to work for him, and then the guy went out of state to work in another one of his other because I guess he has like the same business and not just the same city, like other cities or states or whatever. And so I thought about that. I was like, wow, this guy can't be lying about this. Like, you know, why would he get on here and say that, you know, he had gang stalkers apologize to him for gang stalking him? And then so I left a comment on the video on one of his videos where he said that, you know, and I asked him, I said, well, did you find out why they were gang stalking you and what the point of it? Like, did you ask the guy? And the only thing he told me is he said that he was set for revenge. It was a part of some type of revenge that was set against him. So it was something that the program in itself didn't like that he did or whatever. And that's what started his gang stalking. The only other thing I can remember he said is that he tried to, I think he said he tried to sue a company or something like that. And he believes that's what started it. I've heard of a few other people say that when they tried to sue a big corporation. So that's something to think about. Like, I really believe the guy was telling the truth when he said that. So I don't know what you think, but I really do believe he's telling the truth.
Well, okay, so my answer, I was having these thoughts come in, and what these thoughts were, I was receiving thoughts telling me that these gang stalkers uses the form of fear to a point where it tells a person a story, right? A B2K, because that whole mentioning of yours with that video, that person is going through guilt. So his past and guilt, which is he did something where he just have guilt, feel like he was wrong and he's in trouble. Okay, and the gang stalker love using guilt as a weapon against a person because you have it's like a taking your armors down. You know, you have armor, which is like I preach before in all my videos. No fear. That's your armor. Okay, you need your armor. That's I'm talking about this mental battle. Okay, just all in your mind because your mind's being attacked by spirits, but they are talking so quietly into your head you don't hear it, but then you are hearing it, and that's what that tinnitus is. That super low frequency. You know, I mean that tinnitus sound is always in the back, and if you can't hear it, you need to plug your ears and close your eyes and turn off all your electricity and just sit there for a while and try to get that tinnitus sound. And once you pick it up, you will know it's always in the background, even right now as we speak. And it's through that volume.
Hold on a second. I have a question.
Well, one second. Let me finish.
And I have a question about what you're talking about, the sound, the vibration, the Schumann. Have you guys heard of the Schumann?
No, I've never heard of the Schumann.
Where it's the frequency that Earth vibrates at, Schumann resonance.
Oh, okay.
Am I saying that right? The Schumann resonance? It's about what you're talking about, the vibration. There's I don't know, you should look it up. You should watch videos on that. You'd like that. I'm just saying.
Okay, I will look into it. How do you spell
maybe
that?
Immaterial Man, he might know it. He knows what I'm talking about. He knows. He's probably seen it somewhere.
Oh, okay. And so
sorry.
I was saying
sorry to cut you off. Go ahead and finish, man. I was just saying, yeah, I've heard of it to raw data.
Okay. Um. So what it's telling me is these gang stalkers are talking to the TI, and I know there are TIs out there whom are in fear, and they'll actually believe that whatever these gang stalkers are telling the TI.
But
And
are they getting paid?
the thing is, they're not. I would say they're not getting paid like a direct deposit or even a
No,
check or
it's getting
gift
paid
cards.
by their father, the devil, or like what? Come on.
I but because these gang stalkers can manipulate people, it can actually also bring you fortune. They have the
Yes, an
ability to change
entity.
your.
It's a sacrifice. You torture people for money. They were doing it at my employment. Yes,
It,
they would torture people for money. I worked in a place where they would torture people for money, for sex, for children, for drugs, for spirit snatchings. It was disgusting. The corporations are full of it. Filth, narcissism, CEOs. I sat with CEOs, bunch of them, disgusting pigs.
um. So I do believe there are TIs out there who are absolutely in control by these gang stalkers.
So they get, hold on a second. Let me reword what you guys are saying. You're saying if I go out, hold on a second. Like say I go out and stalk you. I'm going to get rewarded later on down the line in some secret spiritual way.
I believe that.
Yes, that's how it works. That's demonic. It's satanic rituals. Yes, welcome. Welcome to spiritual knowledge.
So
That's the
so the
whole game in the game. That's what they do. This is Satanism. They would chop off children's head, drink the blood, and then I would get fired the next day, or you'll be fired the next day. Yes, that is how it works.
that's some absolute
Yes,
evil.
welcome to reality. Swallow it, because that's
Yeah,
what's happening. And for those of you that are tasting that blood copper taste in your mouth as an ESP or a psychic ability, as a sensitive, that's blood you're tasting because they're performing satanic rituals on you. So whoever's getting that adrenochrome taste, they're drinking blood in your name to try to stop you, bottleneck your spiritual growth. They're bottlenecking your relationship with Jesus Christ.
Well, see, now that you mentioned the adrenochrome, that's something that supposedly these reptilian beings that rule the planet are doing, and a lot of them are disguised as people, but they're not actually real people. So that's amazing that you mentioned that.
All
And they
right. Well,
try to
I had
they
3 lizards last week. I met with 3 lizards last week. One at the casino, one at the dollar store, and the other one at some bar or whatever I stopped at. Restaurant. 3 lizards. I got 3 lizards last week. They know I'm here and they're gathering against me right now.
yeah.
um
But yeah, no,
immature,
I mean, like as far as the elites, and I mean, like certain people in the general population could be the reptilians as well. I believe that. But it's
These
like
are
the
low. These are low
have you
lizards. They're
have,
rotting
have,
corpses, like their face was falling off. They couldn't even keep their shit together. They were so low. There were lower
have,
levels. There's different levels. There's like
have
CEOs, and then there's like these like bottom feeders, like these like you'll know they're
yeah.
sloppy.
Have
immaterial
you heard
man.
kids
Immaterial
that
man.
have been kidnapped or whatever? Like, so the story is like they kidnapped. That's why a lot of kids are on missing kids charts and stuff like that in Walmart and on the back of milk cartons. Well, they used to put them on the back of milk cartons, but
Oh, what's
part of
up? You want to
part of
talk
that
about the
is
children and
yeah,
Hollywood and
part
Disneyland
of
and the
that part
aviation
of that is
industry, all
that
the
they
children, and the
yeah, part of
FBI
that
doesn't do anything. The FBI just
part of
sits
that is
there and watches children get raped.
yeah, no, part of that is these reptilians, they have to feed off the adrenochrome from the kids, like when the kids get scared and then they drink the blood when they're in a fearful state, and it gives them like energy or something, and it feeds their life force and all that. I don't know if you've heard of that, but
I've heard of all kinds of stuff, and the disgusting thing is that you can't tell people the truth because then you're just a crazy person. Welcome to Disneyland. They'll dress up as like Disney characters and rape children. I've seen that in my dreams. I'll remote view the children. Because I know some of you males, you guys are remote viewers. You know what that is. Don't fuck with me. It's not a dream, it's a remote view. Like you'll peek through the eyes of people committing crimes. Yeah. Watch out. This is spiritual warfare. We gotta come up with a training program, because when you talk about things like this is like a higher level of consciousness. You guys are all thinking at a higher level of consciousness, and that alone, sitting in your room, is a threat. So tomorrow you'll go outside and you'll get demonically attacked. Watch. All three of us are going to get attacked tomorrow from this conversation. Watch.
Yeah, I believe it, and probably also attacked, from the whoever's involved, in this in this program. But yeah, see, yeah, I really do believe, people are getting paid from one degree, to gang stalk. And I really am glad that Applied Consciousness made that video saying that, that he said that his gang stalking stopped after those people apologized for gang stalking him. So they basically, like, I guess because they weren't able to ruin his life and he had a successful business, and over time he kept treating people with, love and stuff like that, the program failed. And that's kind of what I've been doing,
Hold on a second. So did he start getting stalked by gold vehicles?
No, he didn't say all that. He just said like different people would show up at the store.
Well, no, I'm saying after he ascended, so after he was successful, did he start to see the gold vehicles everywhere? Because you reach a level to where you'll just see gold everywhere.
No, he didn't say anything like that. He just said that the gang stalking stopped and he doesn't see it anymore. Basically, it's not there.
I wonder if are you seeing gold vehicles? Do you get stalked by gold? Does anybody get stalked by gold?
No, I don't get stalked by anything. And listening to
I get attacked by gold vehicles. I'll be surrounded by, instead of 4 red ones or whatever, they'll all be gold.
Well, I've been listening to the two of you, and what it seems to me is you guys are getting attacked right now. The two of you are talking right now, and I know you're getting attacked based on
we're integrating dark and light. I have a lot of dark entities attached to me because I worked in government my whole life. So I owe you all karma. I owe you karma right now.
Raw data I've seen in your video, you have a lot of shadow people following you, and I can see it.
Yeah, I have a lot of darkness. Well, I dabble in things I shouldn't be. Secret knowledge. So I owe you guys probably karma, and I hope you gain something out of tonight's conversation. Something.
Raw data. So you know a lot of stuff, and the only thing I can suggest and recommend is you need to start doing more offensive. And those shadow people are right next to you right now, and you can actually like brush your hand and you can feel them. So would the two of you try, just
have you ever felt the entity grab your arm?
Immaterial man.
That's happening a lot right now. I'm hearing like 3 or 4 people felt somebody like grab their arm.
Yeah, they're literally next to you. And Immaterial man, would you just try, just kind of like swing your hand just gently and see if you can feel any resistance around you? Like even to the left or right, you feel like any heavy resistance.
Well, I'm gonna light a candle, and I do other things. You know what I'm saying, to clear my own energy. But yeah, I hold a lot of thoughts that aren't accepted. That'll hurt. Like sometimes I'll talk to somebody, and some people say I take it too far. or I'm arrogant, or I push people to their absolute limits when it comes to their beliefs, or I don't know, something. I apply pressure. That's this whole thing. I like to apply pressure to people's thought processes. I want to stretch your minds. I want to see
I
what,
do the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Cause like, see, okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. Cause when I decided to get out of religion, but still be spiritual, it was kind of irritating because, you know, like I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it irritates me when people talk about Christ or Jesus Christ. Not that I have an issue with that because I understand that's just a character, you know, a deity or whatever you want to, you know, look at it as. Do I believe that Jesus, you know, is the creator of all things? No, but I believe that the creator of all things is all things. You see what I'm saying? Like that, because it says in the Bible that God is omnipresent. So, you know, God has to be all things, but we're not looking for a man in the sky type of God. We're looking, you can't really see the infinite. That's the thing. So the thing we're looking for is kind of like you can't see it, but it's there. You know that it exists. It's in all things. The one infinite consciousness, what you just said earlier, or what we were talking about. But yeah, that it used to bother me when people would still talk about Jesus Christ, and I just got out of religion and the church. But then I kind of was
Yeah,
like,
no,
well, that's
a
where
lot
they
of these,
are. I
hold
said,
on
I
a
said,
second. Oh,
well, let me just say this real quick. I just said that's where they are, and I can't really get mad at them for talking about Jesus because I used to be there and I talked about Jesus and believed in Jesus and all that. And now that I'm still spiritual but not religious, you know, I understand it's just different levels of consciousness. Kind of like someone who believes in the Buddha or whatever other deity is out there, Krishna, all that. It's the same thing.
Luis, so when you have these heart feeling like beating nonstop, you have to brush, your chest area because these entities are on your chest, and if
yeah,
you move
use
your head,
deep breathing exercises as well will help with that as well. Like deep
yes,
breathing,
yes,
like
deep
really deep,
breathing
like, yeah.
and brushing your chest. Literally, I use a fan, like one of those little hand fans. That's works really good, and just keep doing that for a few minutes, and you will notice a dramatic change because the entity is actually on your chest, and these entities is all over our bodies, and sometimes they can just grab any part of our bodies, and when you feel a pain on a certain part of your body, just use your hand and brush it for a while, and you'll notice there's extra amount of heat. There's a lot of heat generated. I notice when these things are happening to me, that area will have a lot of heat, but then I'll feel a lot better after a few minutes of rubbing it. So
Is everybody
Yeah.
sleeping well? Like everyone sleeps okay, right? Like you guys are sleeping like through the night and you're getting good sleep.
It depends on the night that I know I have to go back to work the next day. I don't sleep that well, maybe 4 hours, 5 hours.
Right.
But
So it's not
on an
consistent.
off night, yeah, I could sleep anywhere from 7.5 to 9.5 hours on my
Yes,
off.
you need to sleep like 10 hours. Everyone needs lots of sleep right now. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people just lack sleep. Everyone just needs like sleep, and no one gets to sleep because they have to work. They have to get up and do something, or they're still taking their kids to school and stuff, like getting kids
Sometimes,
ready for stuff. And it's just a lot of energy.
sometimes it's just you have a lot of shit on your mind because I used to suffer from insomnia because I'd have a
Oh,
lot.
that you got to journal a lot. Then you're gonna have to start writing that shit down.
Yeah, it was something that happened years ago. Like I have a lot less on my mind nowadays. But yeah.
So are
I
you? But
wanted, I wanted to,
the thing is that it's good that you know the Bible. Everyone needs to know the Bible because it's a weapon that everyone's going to use. Everyone's going to try to throw it at you and use it as a tool. So everyone needs to know it. So that's good that you know it and that you nothing's wasted. That's what I'm saying. Like even though you used to be religious and now we're all spiritual, I even started studying Hinduism and different religions because the Hindus saw the extraterrestrial as well, and other religions saw extraterrestrial. So I don't know. I went down the rabbit hole, So it's good to, you know.
yeah, Hinduism's good. In some of the Hindu teachings, it talked about the oneness. I forgot how they said it. I think they said something about Indra's web, like the infinite web of life. or existence. But yeah, I've listened to some Hinduism. But I had a question for Seventh Hanneman real quick. Okay, so when I told you the story about applied consciousness and how his gang stalkers apologized to him in real life, and then his gang stalking stopped, it seemed like you were saying that it was spirits that made them, like the spirits doing voice to skull from the spirit realm, and it made them think that they needed to apologize to applied consciousness. Like, what were you trying to say? I'm just trying to get an understanding.
Okay. Well, to be more specific, did the gang stalker walked up to him and apologized, or did it apologize? What was the method of apology? Do you know?
He said that the people that apologized to him were his neighbors. Like, he was in an apartment complex, and then they came to him at some point in time. Either they either knocked on his door or he bumped into him or something, and somehow, some way, that's how it happened. They apologized to him for gang stalking. Like, they basically apologized for that.
Okay, and I did he ask question about what they were doing? So they were getting paid. The neighbors were getting paid.
Yeah, it was by I can't really specifically say like what government, because I know we have, there's more than one government, but they're getting paid from some higher governmental program of some kind, basically.
And that's one thing is did he ask questions, specific question like where, how, because paper trail, there's gotta be paper trail, and that's why till this day there's no convincing evidence from the public. It's because it's a mind game. We're being manipulated by these voice to skull, because they're playing a mind battle, and the no fear mentality is important because you have to test what they say. So the gang stalker, it's if he was talked to by the gang stalker apologizing, then I don't believe it if he didn't try to find out what's going on, because one of you out there got to have some absolute evidence, some type of paper trail, that there will be more information than what's out there. And even though that's a question, why are there no evidence? People are listening to voice to skull, creating these ideas, answering their own question of as to why there's no evidence. And one of the
Well,
popular one is, because the gang stalkers, that they don't know what they're doing. They're just giving assignments, showing up or whatever. It's like, no, that's BS. They know what they're doing if there is a program. And these
yeah, no,
just be a
they do.
neighbor. A neighbor
Well,
is not trained to do that, and there are fuck ups out there. It's like a neighbor. Where's the paper trail? There would paper trail would come out. And
well, the only thing that he said, like I said, he said that the guy, one of the guys that apologized to him, just said that he was set for revenge. So it's something that he did in society, whether it was when he was trying to sue whatever company he was trying to sue. I forgot the details behind why he was suing them, or if it was something else. But
and
it
that's
was
okay.
something that it was something that they were getting revenge on him for, and the people that were being paid to do it, basically, but they were getting paid at the same time. And also, I just wanted to add um, that basically, okay, so the gang stalking tactics that are used, they do it in such a way, kind of like, okay, like some of these gang stalkers will show up when where you're walking or where you're driving. I've seen it happen more with me when I'm walking, because I don't drive right now. I take the bus where I need to go. But like several times in the past, I've seen people on the side of the road real loud and looking at me. It's stuff I have one headlight, or when you walk up, like two or three people will have like one car door open, or it's be some type of noise that you hear outside the window of your home. People making noise, and so things like that. Like, you can't 100% say, oh, these are people harassing me, but yet at the same time, if if you were to take it to court and try to prove to a judge that these tactics are tactics being used against you, like, you probably would look crazy, because it could be easily denied as just coincidence or whatever.
We
But
can't take
you know,
spiritual things to a
know
judge.
that
If it's spiritual, you can't go to a judge. If you're here on a spiritual journey, on a spiritual experience, you go to your Father who art in heaven. You don't go to a judge or the police or your mom or somebody else to get justice for you. You're supposed to be going to a God or a higher source. You're supposed to have faith. That's the hardest thing. You pretty much have to jump off a cliff and, land safely somehow. And that's what faith is. I
See,
don't know.
raw data. I know. I'm sorry. I
Well,
know.
that's kind of more of a kind of religious type of
Yes,
way of
it's a spiritual experience.
Yes, I understand what you're
Okay,
saying,
so
raw
that's my
data.
spiritual perception then. That's how I perceive
Hey, raw
things.
data. Raw data. So what's missing here is I understand what you're saying. At the same time, a lot of people in the world don't understand exactly what you're saying. So
Because I'm a spiritual person, because they're unspiritual. Get spiritual or die.
and I just want to talk about how you mentioned Immaterial Man that when you see one headlight, I always wanted to know what exactly is going through what's happening. Can you tell me what's happening when you see one headlight? Like what's going through in your thought process, or do you hear the game stalkers driving that car with one headlight? Like
Well, I don't.
what
I probably have seen the one headlight thing way less than any other target individual that has, said they've seen it, has, but I've seen it way less.
but I
And
want
I've seen a lot of other tactics. Like I said, the one car door being open. Like I'll go inside Walmart. It's not just stuff on the street, but I'll go inside Walmart or King Supers, and as soon as I come around the corner, someone's right there to meet up with me, or a group of people just keep getting in my way, or there's a long line in the store, or certain people just look at me for no reason and stare, whether they're female or male, or even little children, and I'm like, what's the deal? So it's weird shit.
Immaterial Man. Those are not those are not your thoughts. You're actually listening to lower voices skull telling you the idea of what's going on. And for instance, you hearing people talking about you, or see the one headlight, or people with doors open. See, it's the lower voices skull telling you to focus on the object, whatever
Hold
you're
on
looking
a
at.
second. I had a girl stare at me today. It was weird. She came over and watched me fill up my cup with hot chocolate. And I'm like,
Yes,
okay,
that's
so check it out. This is my perception. Everyone get ready for some weird shit to be said that nobody's going to understand. Okay, so when they do that, because I had it happen twice, it's an attack. Okay, so yes, but it's a different kind. It's a remote view. The child is coming towards you, or the person, sometimes, not all the time, to remote view you. Okay, so sometimes children have to get close to me and stare at me so my dad could remote view from where he's at. That's just an example. That's like my dad will call me and he'll be like, hey, you're standing in the gas station getting hot chocolate. And I'm like, how the hell do you know that? And then he'll hang up the phone because he's remote viewing the little girl that's standing next to me.
Well, that's pretty weird. So
Yes, my dad is a master remote viewer. Master.
I know what you mean when you say remote viewing. Like
No, he mastered it to where he can figure out where I'm at.
It's people who know how to project their consciousness around
Oh
different
man, this
places.
thing is heavy. It's heavy to understand, and he can call me and fucking weird me out anytime he wants. It's just
No, because it's not hard to understand.
crazy.
Believe it or not, the military knows about it too,
Oh
and
my
they know.
God, yeah. Well, that's just the thing. He's 101st Airborne, Vietnam, and then he did something in Vietnam to where that something had to get some more people's attention. Yeah. And so then he started. Yeah, well, they were doing some shit in Vietnam that was disgusting, and apparently now he's a master remote viewer from whatever happened.
Yeah, the military knows how to do that, and also they practice using astral projection for whatever agendas sometimes they have. That leads me to
It's getting weird. I mean,
that leads me to something else I wanted to say to Seventh Hanneman. So when you talk about V2K, I do believe there is like the spiritual aspect, and I'm getting just follow me here because I'm trying to show the two sides of it. So there's the spiritual aspect of V2K where spirits could be talking to you, but then you have to also realize that there is the physical aspect. The military has weapons, frequency weapons, and weaponry that they can beam on the general population and also make them hear voices and hear things and have auditorial hallucinations and stuff like that. Have you ever heard of Project Blue Beam? They know how to beam stuff and make you see things or hear things. They know how to manipulate frequency. So that is true. The military and the government does that. On top of chemtrailing every day, they fly these planes and they chemtrail. Who knows what they're releasing in those chemtrails that could be affecting our minds physically? I'm talking physically. You know what I mean?
Well,
Okay,
who
so
eats fast food? That's all chemical too.
to answer your
All of it is. Everything you
to answer
touch.
your question, I just want to say, if if based on your theory, if it is, the government having these technology, and this technology, you have to understand it's instant technology, meaning who knows how many people are receiving it, and this thing comes in with no lag. This whole system that they're running, it's so efficient. It's almost like they're not even operating it at all. And and for me, it's either the government just have the most advanced technology and they're just holding society down, suppressing us by not releasing this technology, not letting people know about it, or there's just getting messed with by the gang stalkers. And I believe they are getting messed with by the gang stalkers because I believe the gang stalkers is bigger than this world. And these gang stalkers are aliens. And I will prove it in my last video. And these gang stalkers control the government. These gang stalkers, they control the people. You and I, our minds are being controlled. But us true TI, we have the ability of having defense against these voice to skull. And until you have this defense, you need to recognize voice to skull. And and my question to you is, when you're out in public, have you ever got confronted by a gang stalker to your face? And how do you know they are the gang stalker? Because I know at the same time we are listening to the lower voice to skull telling us that that person in front of us is a gang stalker, or that person in the car, it's a gang stalker. So my suggestion to identifying if it is the people in the physical, like the person in the car, it's you have to do it face to face. If they're not doing it face to face, you're just listening to voice to skull, or if you hearing them from behind you, anywhere behind you, or in a direction that's away from you, you're listening to voice to skull. And
Well, see, that's just the thing. I have seen gang stalkers, like, I wouldn't say confront me, but like they let it be known that, what I'm saying, something screwy was going on. Like they'll look at me. I've had people just drive by and just stare at me for a good 5 to 8 seconds and then drive off like they're in a trance of some kind. It could have been done on purpose, or it could be mindful. That there's both happening.
Yeah.
But you
Well,
mentioned you mentioned
old people, hold on,
you
old
mentioned
people will attack you, right? They're like, old people are kind of like weak souls. People with weak souls, right? It's just, Jesus called it a city with no walls. The weaker people have to, like the empties. Is that what you're talking about? That's just like they're kind of old, or drones, like they're empty. Is that what you were describing?
you talking to me or Seventh
I'm
Hanneman?
talking, yeah, whoever's listening, I guess.
I wasn't talking about that.
I don't remember commenting anything on it on
Right.
that.
So I just
I
perceive
have
it. So I perceive everything differently. Yeah. So I'm perceiving like what you're saying as like drone people, empty souled people attacking you, just looking at you. They're just like dead in the water types. I don't
Oh
know.
yes, because they're in
Yeah,
a
I don't
trance.
know.
Oh, I
Sorry,
see.
They're
I'll
in a
shut up
trance.
now. That
Like
quiet.
immaterial man mentioned they're in a trance, and yes, they are in a trance. It's like mass hysteria. Uh, gang stalkers can make people a mass area of the population think a certain way, and these gang stalkers can manipulate our dreams. So when we go to sleep, we're technically all receiving messages from these gang stalkers, and it's manipulating our subconscious. And that's why it's important to have the no fear mentality. Whenever you hear gang stalker, you have to challenge them using your own mind, saying stuff to them. I started with saying F you. So whenever they would talk to me, I could hear them. I would just use my mind with my inner voice, saying F you over and over again until they stop.
Right.
But
It's your
it
thoughts
become
that are powerful. Like usually you'll think something and then see something associated with the thought before or after. The synchronicity is with your thoughts.
like
So,
Well, see, going back
right, is that what
to
you're saying?
going back.
like my personal experience with the gang stalker is I'm the one in charge. I mean, my gang stalkers are a piece of shit. I call them like bitches all the time. I mean, I make jokes talking shit about my gang stalkers, and I'll talk shit to your gang stalker, and immaterial man, I'll talk shit to your gang stalker. Raw data, you guys have some shitty gang stalkers, and I know I would slap them if I was
Well,
there.
see, I wanted to
And
add
your
to what
gang
you
stalkers,
said
your
about
gang stalkers
uh,
are weak compared to a spirit like mine, like me, because gang stalkers, they're just bitches. They're just spirits. Use your mind, be in charge, no fear, put on your armor. Like I say fuck you to your gang stalkers, all your gang stalkers.
well, see, I
It
wanted
doesn't
to
do anything to me.
add
It
to what
doesn't
you
do
were
anything
saying
to me
about
because I know there are no paid gang stalkers. And I know that it's just voice to skull, and I already know what they are. And I talk shit to the biggest one. I call them, I mean, B for big bitch. So I call them BB, big bitch blue. That's what I call them, big bitch blue. And because
I use a lot of bad language all
the,
day
the
in my head, all day, every day. I always want to cuss people out all the
because these
time.
gang stalkers are actually having this war amongst each other, and they're using us as pawns. See, and I know it goes to the color, like you mentioned, the spirits with certain color. So I do believe there are certain spirits who just stay in the same color, and that's just what they are. And
well, see, I wanted
class
to
or personality and gang stalkers, they're having a war amongst themselves as well. And these are
I just
aliens.
want to add this little bit about the what did you say, soulless people. Well, I have heard of the term organic portal. So
What
I know
is
what
it?
you mean by,
What is
or
that?
what they say, empty cedar or whatever it is. Yeah, empty cedar, I believe. But
Sometimes
also,
they're not there. They're just not. They're not.
yeah, yeah,
They're on autopilot. I've heard people call it an autopilot. They're
yeah, yeah, or
ones and
not full.
zeros. They're just ones and zeros. There's
But
no other. I don't know.
Seventh Hanneman, you mentioned the aliens and whatnot. Now I do know and believe, I guess you could say it's both, um, that extraterrestrials, specifically the reptilian beings from Alpha Draconis and the Sirius planet system, or the Sirius galaxy, whatever it is, those ones are the ones behind the scenes, running the government and the military. Whatever humans are in positions of leadership, they have to answer to the reptilians. And I do believe there's a lot of reptilians in the human population and the ones in the elite, like Queen Elizabeth, where they can shapeshift and change their form. And a lot of the technology that humans have done here, like our advanced technology that we have, was created by them. Because if you go back, say 115 years ago or so, we were still riding a horse and carriage. So we didn't evolve, with all this technology by ourselves in 100 years. We had some help. So from what I know that there is a physical aspect to gang stalking. I know that there are physical gang stalkers. Some of them are humans, some of them are reptilians. There is a government program of some kind. It's hard to say that it's a program, but that's the best way to sum it up. You could just say it's something that's being done to certain individuals, to fuck them up, their lives and all that, for whatever reason, because they were whistleblowers or whatever. That's what I know. I do respect what you know, what you believe, and all that. So I'll never disrespect. I always try to have a happy medium. you know, it's great that we were able to come together and talk about this, the three of us.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate your honor, and you're being very sincere in that message. So thank you very much. And I
Yeah.
just want to say these gang stalkers are not, they're in charge of this world, but these gang stalkers are, they don't have a physical body. So these are alien in a form of of something different. It can go through materials. It's like these are aliens, and they're in control of everything on Earth. And I wouldn't doubt
All
there are
right, so
reptilians
hold
out
on a
there.
second. I want to talk about aliens. I want to talk about aliens too, because I perceive it might slightly differently. So we have extraterrestrial. All right, they're interdimensional beings, so they can physically be on their planet and then interdimensionally be on this planet through a meditation or whatever. That's how I'm perceiving. That's how some people perceive it. And then the ETs, physically, some of them are like physically here. That's just the thing. Like they use their consciousness. Some of them use their consciousness to get here, and they use like, anyways. And then
Yeah,
there's the Hindus. The Hindus have all these gods, and there's like hundreds of whatever Hindu gods, and they're all animals. And I'm like, yes, each animal, hold on, each animal on this planet is a projection of an extraterrestrial on a different planet. That I know that concept's hard, but like say if I have a black cat crossing, like, 'cause I know you guys get the crossings from the cats. That's actually an extraterrestrial meditating on another planet to remote view you or try to get in your energy space. So some of you guys will get attacked by hawks or eagles. You'll start to see birds of prey. I had a falcon stalk me for like a week, and then my whole life changed after it left. Like it was some type of extraterrestrial.
well, here, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I mentioned before, these one ability that these game stalkers have is can latch on to other other living entities. Okay, other like
Yes,
so-called
so
hosts.
I can
So
control. I can hold on a second. Let me give you another concept to that. Let me add to what you were saying. I am saying I don't know why. I guess I can control. You can control. Everyone can control a lizard. A reptilian. Reptilians are experts at controlling other people with their mind.
Yeah.
So I can have one lizard control. The one lizard I got at the restaurant was controlling 20 other people. And I'm like, damn, this one's pretty big. I haven't seen this one this big in a long time.
oh, it can
Usually
control.
I'll get one lizard controlling. So what I'm saying is that your thoughts control. I don't how do I'm not even, this is like a different, I don't know, it's a different concept. But
No,
yes, I don't know. I agree
I
with you,
see.
but there's other perceptions to
I
add to it.
I see what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Like I know that it's not all just like spiritual and non-physical. There's like many other elements
Yeah,
and
it's hard to
here.
think all of them at once at the same
Because I
time. That's
mean,
what I mean by multidimensional. They're multidimensional, meaning,
yeah.
yeah, I
Because I
don't
mean,
know.
well, see, because like you got the physical Earth, you got our physical experience, but then we're not the only things on here. We got animals. Then there are beings that are in the woods that people have seen, like Bigfoot. How many people have seen Bigfoot? There's lots of stories out there. A lot of people have seen skinwalkers, and there's other cryptids like the Wendigo and other things like that. And people have seen these things, and they're here in the physical. It's not a spiritual thing. Now there is the spiritual, yes, there is the non-physical, there are shadow beings, but even those shadow beings come from the non-physical to the physical, so they're still interacting with the physical. So it's a mix of the two, it's a balance. At least that's what.
Well, what I'm saying is that the ET isn't even on this. Some of them aren't even here physically. They're projecting. I don't know if you guys know much about projection, thought projection, or mirroring parallel universes where I'm on another planet. I'm here, but I'm also on another planet.
Yeah, I've heard of
I
that.
don't
Well,
know. I don't know. I'm
that's
stepping on. I'm getting. I don't know. I don't know where you want the
that's
conversation to go now. I really don't.
that's that's part of the all. That's what I was talking about, the
Yeah.
infinite mind. But yeah, I know what you mean. The only projection I've experienced is when I astral projected and left my physical body, or at least you could say my consciousness left. You know what I mean? Because that's basically
So
what I did.
sometimes I'll think of. Let me give you an example besides an animal. I'll think of something, and then that something I just thought of happens right in front of me. But I thought it first.
Oh yeah, the closest thing I could get to what you're saying is there have been several times in the past where I thought about like somebody, whether it was a coworker who was late for work and I was wondering where he was, or somebody I hadn't seen for a while, and I either see that person in the store or the coworker will come in 20 minutes later or something like that. Like,
The
yeah.
thing is that you'll think of mostly it's your mother or some type of connection, like like somebody you're connected with in some way. You'll be almost like it's like you're predicting it, but yeah, it's more that collective consciousness. Never mind. I don't know.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because no, I'll sit here. Hold on a second. I'll sit here and I'll say hawk, and then a hawk will fly by. Why? So I was talking about a hawk just now, and then one flew. This is just an example. I try not to use the animal as example, but it's just a perfect example. Like,
Oh yeah, I wanted to add to what you said, raw data about you were talking about different animal deities that like something about like that govern the different planets, or like the deities of different planets. Well, that would kind of make sense because they refer to Jesus as the Lamb of God. You see what I'm saying? So that like it made me think of that.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of new ideas out there, and it's going to get people are going to see. The thing is how's the universe going to catch up with us if we can, because it can't repeat. Do you know what I mean? Like, gang stalking is constant, repetitive. To me, it's like getting locked in a dimension of Groundhog Day sometimes, because they'll repeat the tactic. But when we catch on to each tactic, they slightly change each time you catch on. Is everybody seeing that? Like, once you get a pattern down, and you expect that same pattern, because I know when I get in my vehicle tomorrow and I start driving, I'm going to see 500 red vehicles because of this conversation.
I've experienced some of what you're saying, like some of the Walmart mobbing that I experienced kind of
No,
has
Walmart is
died.
so bad. I stopped going in there. I haven't been in Walmart in 2 months.
Yeah, like, but because I've grown to expect it, it kind of has died down a little bit. But then it's weird when I start to at least expect it while I'm in the store, it'll start revving up, and I'm like, damn, this is like some sci-fi ET AI shit going on. You know, like what is this?
But your consciousness is so anyways, you're aware when I say consciousness. So you're just aware of you're like just super hyper aware of your environment on a physical level, a mental level, a spiritual level, and just like as an emotional being. You're like, your awareness is multidimensional. Most people don't walk into a store and are thinking of gang stalking or spirituality or Jesus. They're just like, oh, what am I going to eat? Oh,
Yeah.
eat, consume, comply, right? Obey. And, like that's all they're thinking about. But us, people getting gang stalked, they're at a higher level of awareness.
Dude, you just made me think of the movie They Live when you said consume, eat, and all that. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that movie
Yeah,
with
that's
Rodney.
another lizard movie. That was a documentary put out by the CIA to train people to look for lizards.
Well, I don't know about that, but it could be revealing of
Well,
like
all Hollywood,
you know how
my
like in the
perception on
movie they
Hollywood
look
is
like
CIA.
people and
Hollywood
stuff,
is
but
the CIA.
they weren't actually people, like they were these skull-faced aliens or whatever. And so
There
I
were
think the symbolism
lizards. They
behind that
ripped off
is
the face. It was a
because
lizard at the end.
well, yeah, what I'm saying is like in the movie, the people who were actually aliens look like real people. So if in the real world, if reptilians run the world, but they know how to disguise themselves as people, that could be like symbolic of they live, or they live is symbolic of the real world, you know?
They created that movie to train us, to program us to look for lizards.
I don't know about that. I believe reptilians are real. I've seen people with
Yes,
slit eyes.
that's what I'm telling you. Hollywood saw lizards. The CIA said, hey, we got a bunch of lizards down here. Well, let's make a movie to train people and let them know we got lizards over here. All Hollywood movie, every single Hollywood movie is owned by the FBI. Anytime you put in a DVD, it says this DVD is protected by the FBI. Why is the FBI protecting Hollywood?
Well, also the thing is most people don't pay attention and don't think these movies are real because, you know, they're just that. They believe they're just movies for entertainment, so they're never going to wake up.
So hold on a second. You know the MIB movies, the Alien. We're talking about ET, so I think it's appropriate. Men in Black.
Yeah, I love that.
MIB. Yeah, I love it, right? There it's programmed to train people to hunt aliens. That's why they came out with the movie to train us to hunt aliens. When I watch that movie, I'm like, why is Hollywood teaching me spirituality? Then when I watch The Matrix, I'm like, why is Hollywood teaching me spirituality? When I watch They Live, I'm like, why is Hollywood teaching spirituality? That's your new church. Hollywood's our new church, owned by the FBI. The FBI is protecting Hollywood more
But
than
see,
that. We have 300,000 missing children a year. FBI is just like, yeah, let's protect Hollywood. That's important.
well, see, also it only applies to those that, you know, look deeper. So like if you're the type of person that, you know, you're awake or you've woken up to some things because of seeing some movies and you look at those movies as maybe this could be real and there's a bigger picture here, then though you're in that group of people, but vast majority of people would just watch these movies and just see it as entertainment. Just like I said, they're not going to wake up. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, yeah, but see, I don't know. Even when this the thing is that a lot of people saw spirituality in the Matrix. A lot of people do. When it first came out back in whenever that was, I saw it. It's ugly. It's sad that children were stripped from their parents because their parents have to work. It's just a fucking system. It's annoying. It's all
Immaterial.
falling apart. It's all falling apart right now. So the market's gonna crash. Your economy's gonna completely crash by June. Everything. There's gonna be riots in the streets. You think, yeah, this isn't we gotta prepare mentally for what we're about to witness and spiritually. We need to be the people that are strength. Like, you know, we see what's coming. If we can predict what's going to happen, we can be prepared on a spiritual or mental level. We should be sometimes I feel like we should be in celebration right now. A constant celebration of the complete collapse.
Immaterial, man. What do you go through when you get a Walmart mobbing? Like, what exactly is happening in the Walmart mobbing?
Just
Red
synchronization.
shoes, the red shoes attack.
I'll when I look, sometimes majority of the time when I look, I'll just be kind of looking around to, you know, just look around and see where different items are that I might want to get. And it was like somebody will look right in my eyes right when I'm just kind of looking around, and it'll be one of those moments where, you know, we both look in each other's eyes and it's like it's weird. It's like, what did that? And then people will come around the corner. Like as soon as I'm turning out of one aisle to go into another, there'll be somebody right there to get in my way. Or I'll like walk up to grab some milk or whatever it is, chocolate syrup or something, and then there'll be a bunch of people there.
You're not allowed. you are not allowed to shop at Walmart. The entity, whatever, the universe, the gang stalking universe, doesn't want you at Walmart. That's why I stopped going. The entity doesn't want me there. So I left.
The
I haven't been there
reptilian,
in 2 months.
the archons, the reptilians, whatever you want to call them. But yeah,
Walmart's just one big FEMA camp for everybody. Everybody knows it. Everyone's going to be there. They're going to need Wi-Fi. We're going to need our Wi-Fi. Run to Walmart.
That's basically what I get, Seventh Element. I also get it's weird too. Like, okay, one time I went down one aisle and came out another aisle, and then I was going down like kind of like the little it wasn't the aisle, but it was like the in between where you go to like look at which aisle you actually want to go into, like that long little, it's not a hall, but it's like you're outside of the main aisles kind of thing. And then I went down another aisle, and this lady was like literally right behind me. And then I went to turn around, and she's like right in my face. And I'm like, I literally looked at her and I said, "Why are you like that close to me?" And she got an attitude and was saying, "Why did I turn around?" I'm like,
whoa. So hold on. People are getting in your face. I had that happen to me a bunch. And it was so weird where they get their face and they put it in your face.
Well, yeah, but the thing was, like, she was behind me at first. And then when I turned around to get out of the aisle, because I realized that wasn't the aisle I wanted to go to, that's when she was right behind me and my face was right in her face when I turned around. And I was just like, what the fuck?
Hold on. No, I think I was having a different experience, but similar effect. Yeah.
Do you get any verbal abuse from any of these gang stalkers, or any racist remark or anything like that?
No, never experienced that. But I mean, it's the synchronizations are annoying enough. People constantly getting in your way. Because I'll tell you what, there was a time before, say, 2019, because this is about as long as I've been experiencing this, about 3 years now. Before 2019, I went into Walmart all the time, and I never saw this. People never got in my way. I might have bumped into one or two people.
I'm sorry, what year was that?
My gang stalking started in 2019. I'm saying before that, I didn't experience gang stalking.
Okay.
So there were plenty of times that I would go into Walmart, say 2018, 2017. I would never see this. I would never see any of this. So I know there's something up with this,
Yeah, I perceive things differently. It's a spiritual ascension process. We're pre-tribulations. Tribulations will be coming on 2024. And then more will unplug out of the matrix, I guess you'd say, or they will become spiritually aware. That's all it is. It's spiritual awareness. It's a higher awareness, higher consciousness.
So just to understand, like I know the higher consciousness aspect and whatnot, but so do you believe? I'm just asking you real quick, but so do you believe Christ is returning?
Not till after. No, not till after. Not till way after. So he won't be born because he has to be born in a body. He needs a body, right? How's he going to come back in the old crusty body that's already gone? No, he's not going to come. He's going to have to get born. But he's not going to be born. He's not going to be born during tribulations. No. Not till after everything's over. Then he comes.
Okay. No, I was just asking just so I know like where you're coming from, because as far as the Christ thing, yeah, no, as far as the Christ thing, see, because I'm spiritual, I believe in us having a spirit and a soul and all that. But as far as believing like in the Christ figure and all that, like I don't plug into that. So I was just wondering, like, just to see where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's more of a consciousness. I believe Christ is more of a consciousness anyways. So he'll be here in the physical body at some point, though. We get another Messiah so my perspective is that we get a Messiah every 2,000 years. Every zodiac. So Jesus was the Pisces Messiah. Then we get an Age of Aquarius Messiah. Then we get Capricorn Messiah, and so on and so forth.
Okay, well that kind of makes a little sense.
So the spirits, right? The Jesus Christ actually got a spirit behind him.
He was a lot of people see him as alien, and he even said he wasn't of this world. He even claimed to be alien. He did. Yeah, it's weird.
So this alien has actually been here the entire time.
Yes, yes,
And,
he's here and he's remained, but it's like we get a Messiah every 2,000 years. We get it in a
this
physical body. So he's
see
gonna
this
have to like host a body at some point and lead us at some point, I think.
yes, there's demonic spirits and there's also really good spirits out there. And these good spirits are always manipulating a person, I would say controlling a person to guide the person. So there's both sides to this. And we are getting attacked by some evil spirits.
Wait, hold
And,
on a second. Do you believe in like the good versus evil, black and white? Just straight up good versus evil?
well, see, this universe got good versus evil, but then if the if the opposite side believes what they're doing is good, then for them it's also good versus evil. So it's but yes, there are such things as good versus evil. I believe it's evil
Well,
when
I mean, even it's but hold on a second. It's as above, so below. So if we have 12 hours of darkness and exactly 12 hours of light here on this planet, that's weird, isn't it? Don't you guys think that's a little 12, 12, 12 hours of light, 12 hours of dark perfectly?
yes, it's like the yin and the yang, the balance.
Yeah, like it's good versus evil,
Oh yeah, speaking of yin yang in the you guys ever heard of the Teo, which is like part of the yin and the yang?
I have like a chapter or two on it. I don't even have a book on it. I have
It's
like
basically
chapters inside some other spiritual stuff. I haven't really watched any
yeah.
videos on that, but I've seen it
It's
as a
it's
Chinese or a Japanese or something concept or
Chinese verb. Yeah, it's basically it talks about like the source of existence, but in like an abstract kind of way, kind of like how Buddha says that everything comes from nothing. You know what I mean? But yet it's something at the same time. It's kind of like that.
I like that stuff. Yeah.
So,
Everyone's right. That's just the thing. You can have 100% perceptions, perspectives, whatever beliefs, and all of them are correct.
One thing I think about sometimes is when I finally pass away, or if I can experience this before I pass away, at least in this incarnation, because I know I'm going to be back. I would just love to look through the mind of Source, merge with Source, look through the mind of Source, and look at the universe and
Oh, so are you? I mean, but in order to do
all the
that,
billions of planets or trillions of planets, and just look at them and go, oh yeah, I remember all that. I think that's what it's going to be like.
you're talking about traveling through space, or just
No,
getting all the
I was
knowledge
talking
from the
about
source?
I refer to the source as just like the source, but basically it's what raw data would call God. I just don't use the term God, but I use source. The source of
are you
existence.
guys? So the thing is that when you're with the source, or you feel, see, the thing is that getting closer and closer to your source requires pain, or like the thing is that every time I grow, it's painful. But that's when I have the most growth. But on a spiritual level, it'll come in the form of like deep emotion. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying like the source is pulled
I think right now,
during an emotional pressure or something. I don't know.
I think what your entities is attacking you. They tend to hold your mind from thinking about what you want
Yeah,
to say.
so yeah, that's funny that you even mentioned that because I
Because
got my
I can hear it in your voice.
hold
I
on
can hear
a
it in your voice.
second. I just got it's so funny that you said that because I just got my thoughts extracted like 2 or 3 times and I was aware of it.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Right now, I know
Yeah,
you want
it's
to
an
talk and you have
yeah, I know it's extracting like yeah. How long have we been on here? Look at the clock. What does it say?
It's been a while.
2:22, 2 hours 22 minutes, and I know right now your gang stalker is messing with you as well, immature
Oh
woman. Right?
man, I don't talk on the phone. It's like talking on, I can't do this that long. Yeah, that's why. I'm not allowed to share spiritual knowledge too much because
Like,
then I'll get a demonic attack tomorrow. I got to be ready for my demonic attack for tomorrow. I got to
so
get ready to get gang stalked tomorrow. I got to go. Okay.
immature woman. As you were sitting there, like during this entire live stream, do you feel any sensation like on your body where
Yeah,
you feel anything?
I'm getting spiritual stuff, but I don't want to
Not at,
talk
not
about
at the
it. No,
moment.
I don't want to talk about the chills or well, okay, so your chills and the number alignments are really heavy right now. I'm seeing 5775, so I'm getting mirror numbers. I'm getting a lot of numerology, a lot of chills. The room won't get warm. So I'm gonna move into another room. Yeah, there's just stuff happening. And tomorrow I'm gonna have to perform like I'm gonna have to burn some sage at some point, I'm sure. Or maybe I might do that tonight before bed. See what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna have to do something because now it's knocking around, it's banging around in the bathroom, like it's making noise because I've been on here too long.
See, instead of burning sage and stuff like that, what I do is there's two things that I do. I'll project like my voice, my from within my inner self. I'll use my mind, project my inner voice, and I'll just talk against like
Yes,
anything that
that's
maybe
the best way.
kind of
Actually,
like
that's
but
good too.
it's more of just like making a statement. I'll just say nothing can touch me. I'll project that outward, or I'm good to go, or something like that, and I'll say it strongly within me, and then that'll be that. Or I'll lay down and I'll meditate for like 30, 40 minutes, sometimes an hour when I have the time, and I'll close my eyes and just completely go within the void of my own self. Because when you close your eyes, all you see is that empty void. And so I go in there and I kind of raise my vibration or whatever you want to call it and get myself straightened out.
Yeah, I'm going to do a clearing or something. I'm gonna do something before I go to bed. Um, yeah, I usually don't share my energy with people this long, if you know what I mean. I don't even like sharing my self with people. I'm greedy with myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Is that why you took your videos down? Because you like didn't feel like you needed to share anymore?
Well, I had like 3 or 4 different reasons. I did the attacks, and then the information was dangerous, and then there was me just changing completely. I want to change my style of communicating. I want to cuss less, you know.
Oh, I see.
There was several reasons. Yeah, I would say a lot. Like there's probably even more I could think of, but all positive. It gives me an opportunity to start something new. Don't be afraid to stop doing what you're doing and start something completely new. People are going to hate on you, and that's okay. It's because you're changing. Change is good. They can't change.
Oh, yeah. No, I was actually thinking on starting another channel. Well, I actually kind of already got it up, but I was just thinking on doing little entertainment skits just to, because I think it would be great on getting my mind off of thinking about gang stalking all the time.
Excellent idea. It's good to have new hobbies and do new things, and especially if you find an interest in it, you should do it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Hey
Yeah,
I'll
well,
guys,
probably
I
do
better get off of here, huh? I think I should. It's like we're gonna push 3 hours.
yeah, I will. I was gonna say in about 4 minutes or so, I was gonna end this stream. Um, so yeah, just 4 more minutes or so, or now. Sound you guys?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
make some closing statements. Thanks for this is my first time live on YouTube. So thank you for helping me out. I remember last time we tried to go live, I couldn't fix the settings. I finally fixed the settings. So I appreciate your help with that. Seventh.
Oh, oh yeah. You're welcome. My pleasure. I've been wanting you to join the live stream, and thank you for coming, Immaterial Man. Um, it's good to have these discussions so we can generate ideas and or solve problems, because it's good to help each other out and try to get an understanding of what we're going through and share these commonalities and just help each other out, in this community. And
Yeah,
I
I agree.
yeah, and I just want you guys to know out there, it's okay to disagree on what you believe, and it's not okay to hurt a person. So whatever no matter how pissed off you are or how frustrated you are, it's only temporary. And
Yeah,
you
we
tell
send
yourself,
everyone takes stuff out on other people, especially when you're distant, long distance. Like when people are like, there was a lady, actually, I give you an example where like she was just trying to, send me something over the phone or whatever. We were trying to communicate. But prior to me talking to her was already stressful. So we do take things out on people around us. We feel like if we lose something, like say if I lost some money or whatever, I'm going to be mad all day, right? Aren't you going to be mad all day and then be mad at the dog? Right. So it's important for us
That's,
to,
now you made me think of what else I wanted to add to something we were talking about earlier, but it has to do with what you just said. Like you remember when we were talking about the love thing and plugging into that inner love that exists within all of us, but how this world is designed to, kind of mess you up and distract you from that. And what I noticed recently was I was kind of in a really high vibrational state, or just a really content, peaceful state. And then I was on YouTube, kind of looked through a few videos, and I noticed this video of this Komodo dragon. You guys know, I'm sure you know what a Komodo dragon is, but this Komodo dragon, he was biting the leg of this deer, and the deer was trying to get away, and then he actually got away for a second, and the Komodo dragon got him again. And they're very venomous and poisonous. The one bite will paralyze you and kill you. And it just made me think. I was like, damn, no matter how you raise your vibration, I mean, you can raise your vibration, you can plug into love, and you can be on a higher level, but then shit like this still happens in the world. Animals are getting eaten alive by hyenas and shit like that. Nature is crazy and cruel. So that really just made me, realize I just got to balance these energies, somehow, some way.
yeah, that's a very common word used, balance. People always used to tell it to me, and I'm just like, it's more than just balance is just one word to describe where everybody needs to be at all the time, balanced. But we're juggling uh, different. You're juggling. It's kind of like you're literally juggling different categories in your mind through this gang stalking experience or this spiritual experience, depending on your perception. But
Well, no, I just meant like the shit that happens on this planet, on Earth. Like,
what do you mean, like the nature? So So the thing is that a deer doesn't know who Jesus is.
no, no,
A
no.
dog doesn't know who Jesus.
What my point was is I'm saying, like, I was in a higher state of being, and then I saw that Komodo dragon eat the deer, and so the only thing that came to my mind is because, like, a lot of people use raising their vibration or trying to be in the light or trying to be love as escapism. So it's not about escaping your problems when you go to the light or you try to, be on a higher level. It's just about realizing that's what your true nature is, but shit still happens in the world and you have to deal with that.
Okay,
Nature.
so you're calling it. I get it now. The escapism. That word that relates to me. Yes, that relates to me because I call it retreat, but it's the same concept.
Yeah.
We just use different words to describe the same thing. Like I use retreat, retreat, retreat. I'm always telling people retreat all the time.
Yeah, I've been guilty of trying to escape a lot, and what I realized is you know, when you escape, it doesn't change anything. You might get away for a minute, but then eventually you got to just realize this is reality. So you just had to find a way to deal with it while you navigate, you know, what
Well,
you got to.
yeah, like you said, the balance, and then, the juggling balance show that we have to put on.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've been on here too long. I'm starting to experience spiritual things, and it's just I gotta
Are you
get ready
still there,
for my
Seven
I gotta get
Handsome?
ready for my gang stalking tomorrow when I go to the grocery store to buy milk. It's gonna be some type of show that they're gonna put on for me, right?
Oh, it always happens to me. I got a video I just recorded the other night of somebody with their car on and the headlights on, and they just left it there on for like what seemed like 40 minutes. I was in the store for 40 minutes, and when I came back out, I recorded it still out there, and I'm like, who would be that forgetful? Like, there's little things like that that I think are a distraction for somebody who's a TI or whatever. That was
Well,
just a little distraction for me, but it didn't work, you know. And then
my
somebody else pulled out right when I was leaving, shit like that, you know.
my advice for you is just don't let it bother you, because those things would happen to me. Like, I noticed I was focusing on it. Seeing what made me focus on was these game stalkers using lower voice and skull. So I learned to practice to not focus on it. I mean, I also realize that I can't stop them from
Well, the thing
attacking.
is I've heard people say just ignore, ignore, ignore. I don't think we should ignore. I think we should recognize it and then change. Recognize, then change.
Yes.
Recognize, then change. And constantly recognize. We have to recognize it because we can't ignore it, right?
So no, so it's like
But
a
we got to
practice.
change something about. My thing is that every time I see these things, I got a lot of cops today, okay? And I'm like, all right, I'll just change. I just keep changing. I don't know.
You're right.
For the positive,
It
hopefully.
takes
I don't know.
practice. So
Yes,
no, like I said,
it's a habit, right? It's a habit you have to create. Yes, I like
yeah,
that.
create your own habit of not attention to it, because
Yeah, something like that.
they
Yeah.
come to you face to face and talk trash to your face, staring you down in your eyes and talking trash to you. You can't do anything about it. You can't go to the police. There's nothing you can do about it other than to train yourself to not let those things bother you. So, because you can't prevent a person from talking trash about you. So
Oh, no.
all
People
you
are
do
gonna
is
talk
ignore it.
trash. That's not what you should be worried about. I mean, talking trash is something else.
So if no one is talking trash to you to your face, there's nothing you
The
can do
thing
about
is
it.
that these people never do anything. They just want to get in your energy field. Like some people are like they're never physically attacked ever. They're just constantly provoked. So you're never physically attacked. You're just on a continuous wheel of being provoked.
Well, I believe you're getting attacked in your mind because you're focusing on that specific
Well,
subject.
that's spiritual. Yeah, it
Which
is
is
an attack on your thoughts.
Yeah, it's like, oh, those
Yeah.
are game stalkers, or that who would have their headlight on for so many hours? They're the one making you think that way about it. So you're taking your energy and using your energy to put it on some negative scenario.
Yeah, energy. No, yeah, where we put our energy. Yes, that's
So they're
what
training
people
you over
do.
time to
You there, bro?
He's thinking for a long time, or did he get cut off?
I think he might have lost connection for a second.
Yeah, well, I think it's almost been 3 hours on here. That's good enough for me. I just got this thing working, so I have to uh get used to this, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go here myself because I gotta still make dinner and whatnot. But
Yes.
I don't know
And
if he
thank you, and it was nice collaborating with you. I'm glad you came on here. I wasn't expecting you.
Yeah, I saw him go live and I'm subscribed to him, so I saw him go live and I was like, oh, here's a good time to come on.
That's
Yeah,
cool. It was nice talking with you. I'm glad I got to talk to you. And you're working tomorrow, so have a good day, right? Or you're not working, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I'm working.
Yeah. You know, anytime you step in a room, like your thoughts, it's like you should have own the room. Like anytime you step in and you're like, okay, I own this place. If that's your thoughts, like you're in boss, like you should be in boss energy all the time. Stay in that power position.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
I've
you have
gone
a
through.
good mind. You have like a good solid foundation. This place is gonna go to shit. And you're not. You're gonna understand exactly what's going on, and not very many people around you are gonna understand.
Oh yeah, man. Well, appreciate that. And it took a lot of having a strong mind to even get through the damn pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like that was crazy in and of itself. Seems like we're getting closer to the end of it, but it was crazy enough, you know.
Well, there's more to come. There's gonna be more plague. I'm just predicting pretty much the same thing. There's gonna be a series of plagues.
Well, we can hope not. We can put the thoughts out there to make it not be so and picture something
Well,
else.
I know, but it's just so hard and inevitable, designed failed system. The thing is that it's gonna happen. It's gonna collapse, but when it does, you're gonna have a huge rock to stand on, and everyone else is gonna be in the sand.
Yeah, those that haven't woke up, kind of like what I was saying about the when we were talking about the movies and how some people will wake up and see the subliminal nature in the movies, and some won't.
I can't
Yeah,
stand that. That irritates the shit out of me. Just Hollywood in general, what they like, they made it so obvious, so ugly. And you know, Hollywood's failing financially. They're not doing well at all.
all they do is make remakes and make the same movies over again nowadays.
Yes, I can't believe you said it. You're like the third or fourth. Actually, other people are noticing that too, because you are the third or fourth person that said it first.
I
It's
think,
the same theme. It's the same like layout. You know, like basic layout. There's a bad guy, then there's a good guy. Okay, now the bad guy's gone. Now the good guy comes back and dies and then comes back. It's like the
yeah.
same.
Or if it's a horror movie, there's like 10 people that start out in the beginning, and then there's one survivor or two survivors. They do the same shit, yeah. And I mentioned the horror movies because when I was a kid, I used to be big on horror movies. Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, all that stuff. Freddy Krueger, stuff like that. Hellraiser.
I liked all the taboo stuff, like the killer stuff. Remember the killer spiders, killer this they used to make like killer ants. They were just like low level films I used to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're all guilty of watching our favorite Hollywood movie, you know. I watched a Western last night. I enjoyed it, you know. So I'm guilty of everything.
Damn, Seventh Hanneman really got booted out. I was waiting on him to come out because I know he's the one that can close the show.
Well, we can leave anytime we want, right? There's no Oh, I haven't even seen the chat because I don't know how to operate this thing. That's crazy. I can't even look at the chat to like answer questions because I don't know how yet. I guess I press on
Yeah,
how.
if you look down on the
It's,
right
oh,
lower.
well, I could see it, but I can't comment. Am I allowed to comment? I don't,
Um,
I don't know.
I haven't figured out how to comment either.
Yeah,
I don't think it's letting me.
I don't think it'll let you. But anyway, this is fun. I mean, this is my first time even on YouTube live at all, ever in my life. Tonight is the night.
Wow. Well, you figured out how to get on.
Yeah, well, Seventh helped me. Last time he was trying to walk me through some settings. I can't even read all these comments because we're ending the show. See, well, I just figured out how it works. So, anyways, it was nice meeting all of you. I'm glad you joined us in the chat and live. Hopefully, we'll talk again.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you as well. I guess Seventh isn't coming back, at least at the moment. Maybe his phone died or something.
Well, if his phone died, then how are we still on his channel live?
That's a good point. So maybe not. I don't
No,
know.
no, he just left the phone. I don't know how. This is a learning experience for me, and communicating with strangers, really, it's awkward. I mean, yes, we all have something in common, one thing at least. But
Yeah,
it is uncomfortable sometimes to try to communicate.
that's true. Well, if you ever feel like making some videos again, go for it. Cause I mean, you were building a little bit of an audience, and some of the stuff you were saying was kind of interesting. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe this summer I was thinking I'll do something. Uh, I don't know. I don't have anything really. See, that's just the thing. I don't know what kind of platform I want. I don't know. I don't know. This is good right here. I just got live, so this is probably going to be successful. I would hope as well.
Yeah.
So you have a good day at work tomorrow, and
Yeah.
I'll see you around the community.
Yeah. You have a good night. Try to sleep well.
All right. Good night.
See ya.
Bye.